when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. Watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. I was born to win, watch me elevate. Watch me elevate. Yeah. All in when I show up, whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. when I aim up. Elevating that game up. Stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. All in when I show up. Whole place about to blow up. Superior to that competition. I'm in first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm with it till they digging up my grave. Eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Oh my goodness, this episode is way overdue, but welcome back to the internet's least favorite podcast, Retro Blasting's favorite podcast, though. We are The Brand Show. Welcome back. Happy August to you. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Billy Nichols. I am your Generalissimo and the Larry Bird of action figure collecting. It is good to be with you all.
My name is Chris, the best dad on the internet because I left him to get cigarettes because I came back for your ass. How y'all doing?
Dad, you came back. I'm really excited about that. I was so shocked. I was like, whoa, is he really coming back from streamer camp? And then I sat here for a minute and I was like, I wish I had a sound clip to play with this of Townsend going, anyway, joke being that, well, you know, he went all the way to streamer camp and came back, but welcome back to the show. It's good to be back. Obviously, last episode was canceled due to the writer's strike. We wanted to stand in solidarity with our friends Kevin Monroe and Arif S. Kindchen. For more reasons than not, here at the Brand Show, we truly believe in transparency and accountability. We also believe that writers, actors, voice actors, and the such all deserve to be paid a living wage to make sure that they're, paying their bills. They're able to keep a roof over their home, etc. Now, with that being said, 20% of tonight's subs, bits, donations, etc. will be donated directly to the Writers Guild Association of America in honor of those folks and in Arif and our guest, Rhode Island's own Peter Griffin's names. Thank them for being here when they get here. But let's get right into the show. First things first, last episode, we had Townsend Coleman. What a way to kick off season 2. Am I wrong?
As I'm blinded by my own screen. Yes, it was a great kickoff. My own PC flashbangs, man.
Yeah, no kidding. I think, if you guys missed episode 1, youtube.com/abunchofnerds, go over and see what we're doing. Catch up on episodes of Unboxed. Catch up on episodes of Pressed. Make sure you watch The Brand Show. And episodes of Nerd Fight will be making their way to our YouTube channel in the next week or two. Really excited about that, too. But... man, first and foremost, thank you to Townsend Coleman, a personal hero of mine. It was so surreal to me. I grew up without my parents, as you all know, suck. We've talked about this. I'm not going to give them any more airtime than they deserve. And my aunts basically raised me. But one thing I know, and that was really special to me, is that when I came home every day at, excuse me for 1 second. Just realized I left my white noise machine on from my day job. I work with a white noise machine on. But when you don't have people at home when you come home that you can rely on, and you're able to find something to connect to and really feel a part of, like Ninja Turtles was for us in the 80s. People like Townsend, Cam, Rob Paulson, Barry Gordon, they become your role models. And for me, it was just absolutely phenomenal to get the opportunity to look Townsend Coleman in the eyes and tell him he's my hero. So thank you, Townsend. I'll see you in the A Bunch of Nerds team is coming to see you in a couple months. We're very excited about that. We can't wait to see you in Rhode Island. But let's get right into the show. We get a lot. First and foremost, make sure to join our Discord server. Could you drop that in the chat? If you guys are not in our Discord server, please make sure to head on over to Discord and come hang out with us. Join the conversation. All are welcome. There is no paywall for that. I mean, you do got a paywall here on Twitch. If you're going to be, watching the show and you want to use our super fun emotes like extorting snacks, the F in the chat, or the infamous a bunch of root beer bottles, make sure to use your Twitch Prime subscriptions and make sure to subscribe to this channel every month. We're not extorting you, but every dollar that you guys donate to this channel goes right back into the channel. None of this money goes into our pockets. It pays for the things we need to make this channel run and to make our product run. Which also, speaking of which, is really exciting. I don't know if he's in chat tonight, but I want to give a shout out to Farva, our angel investor. Our budget for 2024 got approved, which means the brand show has been renewed for season 3.
I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
So we will be back for season 3. That is very exciting news. But we are knee deep in the middle of season 2. Unboxed is going to be getting some upgrades. Pressed is going to be getting some upgrades. Everything is getting upgraded because of the budget that we just got. I'm really excited about this. I'm super stoked. We got a new episode of Nerd Fight coming next week too. Don't forget to tune in Friday nights, twitch.tv/The Brand Show Live, the opposite Friday of The Brand Show. So that'll be August 18th. Jay is back with another great episode of Nerd Fight. That is really good. Really excited about that, but let's get right into it. Are you ready to do this? Because I'm ready for this.
As ready as they're going to be.
But first and foremost, let's say what's up to the brand fam in the chat. I see you, Rosa. What's up, Zero? What's up, John Brown in the house? Slen, what's good, dude? Hey, Papa Smalls is in the chat. Nice guy. Heard he dyed his hair.
Yeah, it's a something.
It looks beautiful. I must say, you look like a pack of ramen noodles, sir.
Thank you.
But I also see Bree is in the chat. What's up, Bree? Good to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with us. But let's get right into it. Tonight's episode of The Brand Show is brought to you by our partners over at Prep You Products, empowering young men to take care and control of their personal hygiene care regime with ingredient-based natural products. And you can use code ABON to save 20% over at PrepUProducts.com and have a beautiful face like mine. Or Smalls's. His is beautiful, too. Anyway, so how was streamer camp? Let's start there, man.
It was a good time. I drank way too much. There was a Renaissance Fair prom. There was Cylons. There was sand dunes. There was a rave barbecue, and I made out with a loaf of bread.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a story where you made out with a loaf of bread, and I wanted to hear all about it.
Slen just says bread.
So tell us the story. Go ahead. Lead us off, because we got a few things to talk about. We're going to go long.
There's not a whole lot to it. So one of the people that was at streamer camp, one of my mods, and Slen knows him as well, Lauren.
What up, Lauren?
Twitch.tv/LaurenXMckay.
Hell yeah!
Has a thing on her channel where
Here we go again.
Every time someone subs, she's a big Stargate or Battlestar Galactica fan.
So Lauren has good taste, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So she has a poster of a Cylon that's in the back of her room with a separate webcam that looks at it. So anytime someone subs or anything like that, she shoots and tries to get a bullseye on the Cylon. So she did something called Shots for Shots, where she took a picture of said Cylon, drew a target over it, and each quadrant of the poster was a different drink that you had to do.
Whoa. This sounds gnarly.
And then some kid that was part of a family next to their campsite that they became very good friends with, who I don't know. The kid said he was 3 different ages. I'm convinced he's just a CIA sleeper agent at this point. He hit the bullseye twice, which meant he had to do all 4 drinks. But then he pointed to me because I looked sober. And then he said, "You." I was like, "Why?" I just did all 4 again. So I had to do 8 shots in under 10 minutes.
Oh my God, that sounds painful.
And then I was sitting in a chair, and someone came up to me and said, "You look hungry. You want food?" And I was like, "Yeah," because I was drunk. I was not coherent. And I was handed a loaf of bread. And a lot of things happened, apparently, with that bread.
So the moral of the story is, kids, is don't drink too much or play drinking games unless you're prepared to make out with a loaf of bread.
Hey, I made that bread find its loaf and savior. In Jesus Christ.
While Smalls While Smalls was at Streamer Camp, I was at Fan Expo Boston. Had a super good time. Met a bunch of good artists, amazing people. I want to give a shout out to Steve Messenger and Jordan Gibson, as well as my dear friend Ian Nichols. I did buy some art this weekend. I also saw our good friend Fabrice Sapolsky. He wanted me to tell you hello, and he is going to be back during season 3, which we're really excited about. I just bought his new book, Noir is the New Black. Very excited about that. But I bought some really cool art. I unfortunately didn't run across the room and get the tick art I bought from Ian. Thanks, Townsend, for that. But I did want to show you guys a couple prints I bought this past weekend. One of them, for you Batman the Animated Series fans, this will be fun. This is from Jordan Gibson. This is from the Beware the Grey Ghost episode of Batman the Animated Series. It was the only episode where Adam West and Kevin Conroy, both rest in peace, got to be on camera together. And it was probably the greatest episode of the Batman animated series. For those of you who don't know the episode number, it's season 1, episode 33. You can catch it on HBO Max. It is the most beautiful piece of animation you will ever see in your life. Like, I cry every time I watch it. Had to have this for my collection. Really jacked about that. I'm also going to do a live unboxing thanks to our friends at I Sell Toys for Fun here in just a minute when we get to weekly purchases. Get there in a second. And then also, I got this amazing Michael Myers piece from Steve Messenger, which is going to lead me into an announcement. For those of you who have been with me for a long time, you know my love for comic books. You know my love for all things creative. And I am very excited to announce that the Indie Comics Variety Hour will be joining the rotation here at A Bunch of Nerds. We will be doing quarterly live panels. Excuse me for 1 second. I just need to close Malwarebytes because it keeps coming up on my screen because I was downloading something via torrent earlier, and I just need to quit Malwarebytes. There we go. Done.
We here at the Brand Show Live do not endorse the act of piracy.
Well, it's nothing pirated, but my friend has something on archive that I had to download, and when you download through a torrent, it always comes up as malware. We definitely do not endorse piracy. Buy shit, and then torrent it when you buy it, because you need a digital copy. I mean, what?
Skill issue.
Anyway, but really good time this weekend, and we've decided to bring back the Indie Comics Variety Hour. It's probably going to be hosted by Bree and myself. That's going to be really fun. I'm really excited about that. And then don't we have another? Aren't you working on something super secret that you need to talk about, music related? A certain podcast?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Pop off,
yeah,
Queen. Pop off.
Hey, yo.
Let's go.
So yeah, Slen Hard Photo, who is in the chat. One of my dearest friends. I've known this lovable man-child for far too long. We came up with an idea for a podcast centuries ago, it feels like, involving music and photography, because that's what our friendship was based on originally when we started working with each other. So it's going to become part of A Bunch of Nerds when? I have no clue. But it will be a thing. So our podcast, the PPC, the Photo Pit Collective, will be joining A Bunch of Nerds and the Brand Show Live at some point down the road. Hopefully this year, probably next year. But yeah, music, photography, food, nonsense.
How to survive
chaos.
a concert, etc.
Yeah, mosh pit etiquette, what you need to get into the industry, all that sort of fun stuff.
So literally, you're going to see a plethora of new content as a bunch of nerds continues growing. We want to work with you guys. We want to show you guys more. But couple quick notes because we're running behind schedule that I want to get to before we get to weekly purchases. For those of you who haven't seen yet, Futurama is back and it's on Hulu and it's amazing. Please make sure to support that wonderful effort and the amazing people of that show. I love everybody on that show. Also, for those of you who haven't seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem yet, please go see it. My childhood cried. And last but not least, I want y'all to check out at Retro Clothing, r.e.t.r.o_clothing on Instagram, because he made Sky Davis air jets. You now can be like Doug Funny and get a size 12 when you're a size 6 and have your very own Sky Davis air jets. I don't have a picture. I apologize. Twitch would flag the stream.
So
I
bad.
do too. Twitch would flag the stream if we did. Before we get into weekly purchases tonight, guys, we're going to be joined by Rhode Island's own Peter Griffin, also known as Stevie Oaks. And our good friend Arif S. Kindchen is back for his 3rd record episode. Kindchen, man, he is just always here. I swear to God, he is an unofficial member of a bunch of nerds, or he's a ceremonious member of a bunch of nerds at this point, because he holds the record for most appearances on our shows.
Mm-hmm.
He's always here. You call Kindchen, you give Kindchen 10 minutes notice. He's at a barbecue. He literally puts on his cape and flies home to be on the show. Dude's drinking Saints Flow, ready to rock. But let's get right into weekly purchases, which is brought to you also by Preppy, where you can save 20% with code ABON at preppyproducts.com. Smalls, what do you got?
So as all of you just heard, I was at streamer camp for the last week. I just got back home last night around 8 p.m. or so after spending 25 hours on the road to get home from Michigan. But I had a bunch of stuff come in while I was gone. So for anyone here that knows the brand Liquid Death, hashtag not a sponsor, but definitely would not say no to being one.
Wait, before you do that, hold on, I got something.
My fee is $175 an hour.
Just in case you're listening, Liquid Death.
Please call me. So they are the trolliest trolls of all marketing for anything on the internet. I love them. I've worked with them before, like for content and stuff here and there, but nothing like official on paper. But they do a series on their website for merch that you can get only on vinyl, oddly enough, called Greatest Hates, which is all of their hate comments and reviews from like pissed off parents in Christian groups that think it's like the devil water.
Wait, hold on. I got breaking news. I got breaking news. I'm sorry. A very heartfelt congratulations to Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews, who just got engaged. Literally, not 9 seconds ago. Literally just popped up on Instagram. Congratulations to the happy couple and many more years to you.
Let's go.
Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay.
That literally just came up in my, like, literally my phone just popped up with that. So.
Oh, you're good. But they do a series called Greatest Hates, which is where they take all of their hate comments and reviews from angry people that think it's booze or think it's stupid or just don't like it, or they're part of a Christian group that thinks it's the devil water. And they've done 3 of them now. The first 2 were done to death metal records, and they had like George Fisher of Cannibal Corpse on the song for it. This time they went the completely opposite route and made it an 80s dance synth pop record.
That's amazing.
Which oddly enough features a friend of Slen's as well. Frank Iroh's on this record, my friend. And also Tony Hawk of Tony Hawk fame is on here doing vocals on 2 songs, 3 songs. I don't know. There's a couple of them. What else do I have? I have a bunch. I have Veil of Maya's newest records. Their newest record, Mother, which I feel like I have to kind of censor the top of it because it's not TOS. But there's that. I just recently am getting into this band, which is kind of insane considering they've been around for 20 years. But the record pressing itself looks beautiful.
So wait
that's why I
a
got
minute.
it.
You just showed titties. Doesn't that mean that somebody's got to donate 1,000,000 biddies?
No, I covered it. I
Damn.
covered it. I'm not done.
Damn.
Um,
Titties for biddies. Hashtag.
I got Animals as Leaders, The Joy of Motion.
That's a great name for a band. Animals as leaders, and I love the fucking.
You should look into them as
I'm all about
it. As a self-proclaimed stoner. They're all insane. They're all insane. It's no vocals. It's all instrumental.
I dig it.
Tosin Abasi is not of this earth.
So what you're saying is I should just get literally toasted and listen to
and
these
just
guys.
play any one of their albums. Yes,
I just love the
absolutely.
sound of that.
Tosin Abasi, I'm convinced his thumb has 9 knuckles. Just
Wow.
watch him play and watch his picking hand.
So that just went from 7 to 9 on the in pre-show. It was 7. Now it's 9.
He's ever evolving.
Okay.
And then a band that I'm actually seeing next month open up for Bad Omens in Boston on the 13th.
I just discovered them.
Month.
May I add? Love them.
Really? That's
Yeah.
surprising considering you and I talk every day.
Love them. What's that song that they just put out? Pretenders or something?
Pretenders, yeah. I mean,
It's
it's
amazing.
all off of The Death of Peace of Mind.
Absolutely one of the most melodic, beautiful songs I've ever heard.
And they're currently writing album number 4 as of last week.
Right on. Right on.
But the band, one of the 2 bands that are performing with them on that tour is Era, and I just got their album Drift.
Oh, that's pretty. I love the art. That's cool. Okay.
So definitely go look them up as well if you want like progressive fusion metal core. I don't know.
Can I just
probably describe them better.
Can I just have new music? That's all I want.
That's fair.
Noted.
I just gave you 3 bands.
Binky Bonky.
And then I don't have them with me currently. They're in the other room. Progressive metal. That's probably the best way to do it. I have 3 other albums that I don't have with me. They're in the other room on the filming table. But I did get Polyphia's Muse, so I now have officially completed Polyphia's discography. What is probably going to be my album of the year right now, Moments Elsewhere by Johnny Booth out of Long Island. If you want the angriest sounding white boy metalcore you've ever heard in your life, look up Johnny Booth. I also got NSYNC's debut record on a limited pressing of only 1,000 copies of White and Copper.
Nice.
And then I also got The Last Goodbye by Odessa.
Damn, you had a good week. So, damn, dude. I literally bought all of San Diego Comic-Con. But I'm going to start out with something that I had custom made, and I want to give a shout out to Foam Loki himself. No More Fun Games, Dave Marco over on Instagram. Check him out. And if somebody would clip this for me, I'd greatly appreciate it so that way I can show him. I had a beautiful diorama custom made. This is just one piece of it, and as you can see, he tagged the brand on it, which is really cool. I was shooting it earlier. I love it. He also did this piece. There's 3 other pieces to it. It's just absolutely a chunk. Really good. Like, for those of you who know about Ironbeard, you know what Shadow Punks means, so that's cool. Just a lot of homage to things I've worked on in these. I did just pick up the new Toxic Crusaders Super 7 Ultimates, which we have been working with them a lot lately. They've been just featuring the shit out of us, so shout-outs to Super 7. These are just beautiful. You're going to see them. By the way, I'm just going to say it live. Figure Friday is going to be delayed because of the show. I apologize. We're probably going to film it this weekend and do a full long form. I don't know yet. I will let you guys know. But look at these figures, man. I did an unveiling of these. These just look amazing.
I'm going to let you do this. I have to go feed Tiny Human.
Go feed Tiny Human.
I'm going to turn off my camera and mute myself, but I will be back shortly.
Leave your camera on. You're fine. So, continuing, I got lucky on this one. This is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 box set. Amazing. We're filming this on Saturday. That'll be fun. Can't wait to film that. That'll be an upcoming episode of the not the brand show, Unboxed. That's going to be good. And last but not least, probably my favorite exclusive from all of Comic-Con. So for those of you who grew up in the 90s, you know what this is. So this was a promo that Chef Boyardee did with the guys from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Playmates. They give you a movie shredder with a variant color if you sent in 3 UPCs. I don't have it for some reason, but I do have this neat little reaction figure, which is really cool. And as you can see, it has the pasta on the inside. I got to give a shout out to San Diego Comic-Con Hangover guests from last year, Daniel and Brent from Super 7 16th Street for the hookup on that. Those guys are always so good to us. Really jacked about that. But I promised you guys a live unboxing, and since Rose is in the chat, guys, give a shout out to I Sell Toys for Fun in the chat for me. Let's get some F's in the chat for I Sell Toys for Fun. I finally got my hands on the Retro Beast, and I'm going to unbox it right here for you guys right now. So let's get this thing out of the box. If you're a subscriber, you have the F chat. So let's get him out of the box. I don't have I wasn't planning on doing this, so this is totally unplanned. Listen, if you're a subscriber, go to your emotes, right? Look at that. You got an F in the chat. Boom. It's a bunch to FFF. There you go. God damn. Stupid packaging. There we go. Live unboxing. So, Beast comes with a soft goods robe. He comes with X Gene and something else, which is really cool. He also has little glasses, which are really cool too. So, like, I'm really jacked on this figure. For those of you who know me, you know I'm a big X-Men collector. So, I have the original Beast, which is cool, but this one is basically just the original with swappable head and hands, which is really cool. He's a great looking figure. I've been excited to open this one, especially because, you know, Henry McCoy was such a cool piece to the X-Men, especially in the animated series, which is my favorite. There's the little X Gene. That's really cool. I'm really psyched about this. And then he has little glasses, which are really cool. I wish they were attached to the head sculpt. That's my one complaint, because stuff like this gets lost very easily. So let's get this on and go from there, and we'll see what happens. So thank you, Rosa, for the good deal on these two guys. By the way, head on over and see ist4fun.com. Those guys are amazing, and it's the number 4, just for the record. Okay, so this is a problem because his glasses like really don't go on his head. See, like, if I was filming unboxed right now, I'd probably take 25-30 minutes to get these on. But these literally just don't fit on his head. Like, I'm holding them on there. Thank you, Rosa, for putting that in the chat. Like, as you can see there, it really doesn't go on. I'm going to figure that out later. I'm not even going to deal with it right now. But this Beast figure is just so cool. He comes with an extra head, too, as you can see. There you guys got a live unboxing because I didn't actually post an episode today. But we're going to be going live with Arif and Stevie Oaks here in just a couple minutes. While Smalls is getting Hattie settled, I am going to send us to break. Okay, so guys, hang out. You may get another ad break. Guys, if you don't want to watch ad breaks, do me a favor. If you have Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, link your Twitch account to Amazon Prime, okay? And do yourself a favor and use your free Twitch sub. You will never have to worry about those 90-second ad breaks again. You'll never miss anything again. But that's Beast. Head over and see my friends at I Sell Toys for Fun. You can hit them up on Instagram at IST4, the number 4, fun as well. Make sure to hang out with them. Buy your toys from them. Support a small business. Hey, you might pay a couple bucks more than you would with Target, but at least you know where your money's going. With Target, it's probably going to some douchebag in Minnesota who doesn't deserve your dollars.
I'm in danger.
Yeah, the new Beast is way better than the Toy Biz version. That is 100% sure. All right, guys, we are going to go to break. We are going to bring in our guest, Stevie Oaks, a.k.a. Rhode Island's own Peter Griffin, and our good friend Arif S. Kindchen. So hang tight. It's the brand show, San Diego Comic-Con Hangover Part Deux, and we'll be right back with you, so hang out. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back to the Brand Show. We're joined now by the president of the Homeowners Association himself, Arnold Palmer, and a Funko Pop of Stevie Oaks. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you've been here since the beginning of the episode, you know who these guys are. Archie Bunker is on the left. Arnold Palmer is on the right. I'm just kidding. Listen, we're back. Stevie Oaks is in the house.
Really said Arnold Palmer.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Stevie Oaks is in the house. What's going on, Mr. Oaks?
Another day in paradise.
Another day in paradise. Is anything grinding your gears at this current moment, sir?
A lot of things are grinding my gears.
All right. Well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Now, also joining us from the hidden lair of Tenchu stealth assassins in feudal Japan, it is the voice of Saints Flow himself, Mr. Arif S. Kindchen. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going down, man? I'm over here in Steelport trying to get away from the bad people.
I heard somebody farted in Steelport, and that's the reason for the mask, though.
Hey, you know what? It might have been me. I went to Freckle Bitches, and, anything can happen.
Well, hey, Arif, this is a record for you. First of all, you are literally the unsung member of a bunch of nerds. You are literally like our fifth guy. You're like, you remember when the NWO was a thing and Ted DiBiase sat down in the crowd and he held up 4 fingers and everybody went nuts, and today he goes, "Who's the fourth man?" You are our 6-pack of our NWO, so it's good to have you back, man. Thanks for hanging out. Always
Thanks for
good.
having me.
Oh, dude, you could just randomly show up on a random episode and be here. We don't give a fuck. If you show up, we're not going to turn you away.
I'm always here and ready to go.
Bro, you have a permanent invite. Yeah, like it's at that level. Anyway, guys, if you don't know these guys, make sure to get their social media tags before you leave. Make sure to follow everything they do, support whatever they're working on. Kindchen, you just had a new show launch, did you not?
Yes, and I can't talk about it, but if I was to accidentally say Praise Petey, maybe I could say it, but I can't say anything.
Okay,
maybe if I accidentally said Freeform on Fridays, but I don't know.
So basically what Kindchen's trying to tell you is watch Praise Petey Fridays on Freeform TV. Well, let's get right into this. So we're going to recap San Diego Comic-Con really quick. Yep. Talk a little bit about. We're not going to talk too much about it because there's way more important things going on right now. The battle of AI and its bullshit in Hollywood, and what is going on with our brothers and sisters in the Writers Guild and in SAG-AFTRA, who is willingly striking with the Writers Guild, which, man, fucking beautiful that you guys are doing that. Like, you want to talk about solidarity? One thing that we can all learn in this world right now, ladies and gentlemen, is solidarity from the Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA. Like, think about it. Be good to one another. Support one another. It doesn't matter where you come from, what you identify as, what color you are. Simple fact is you deserve the right to be able to afford a roof over your head, food in your belly, and electricity to keep you warm and cool, or to watch Praise Petey on Freeform Friday nights. So let's get right into it. There's a lot of fun stuff. Stevie, I know you're a big toy guy, so San Diego Comic-Con, what did you think of the exclusives? What did you think of the reveals? Was there anything that really sat well with you, you liked, you didn't like?
I feel like it was kind of underwhelming for me just from what I collect.
Yeah.
I mean, the turtle stuff is always freaking amazing. Star Wars really knocked it out of the park this year. So good for them.
With the Ahsoka ship, right, for the HasLab?
Yeah, the
and
Ghost.
It funded in 90 hours.
Yep. Woo. So that's a gorgeous beast, and I would love to fund that bad boy, but my wife might neuter me.
I will Venmo you some money after this, pal. Don't tell Jess I paid for it. Whatever you do.
Yeah. So I mean, there was that. The Silverhawks. That was a nice drop. Yep. And
yeah, not impressed.
Even though I know somebody who said he was going to buy any of them, bought 2 of them.
Well, wait. Was that our dear cousin and friend, Mr. Joe himself?
Yeah.
By the way, guys, if you see JC #434 in the chat, give him shit for that. What up, Joe? Good to see you, brother. Joe's. For those of you who don't know Joe is a fantastic human being. Say hello to him.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
Hey, Joe.
You know what really grinds my gears, Joe?
Hey,
you said you weren't, and then you did.
All right, continue, Stevie, please.
Marvel Legends kind of underwhelmed.
Hmm.
They need something because
No,
Marvel
no,
Legends, I
no.
feel like
Okay, they just announced Marvel
okay. So
Marvel
besides,
Knights, dude. Marvel Knights looks awesome.
eh. Okay, so the original card back 97 X-Men, that was fire.
Hell yeah!
But everything else for me was meh.
X-Men! Go to iSell Toys for Fun and buy yours now. But yeah, I was really surprised there was no HasLab for Marvel Legends. That really shocked me.
No, because they're probably gonna save it for
New
HasCon.
York, yeah, or HasLab or HasCon. I know, and Kindchen, you're an old school guy too. Anything you saw out of the toys that were showed that were really cool?
Grimlock. I mean, but he was announced a couple of days before, but it was for SDCC.
Yeah,
But Grimlock,
the transforming one, right? Where you could
yeah,
say
man,
Grimlock transform.
and that was well made and did exactly what 12-year-old Arif would have wanted.
Are you copping it? Is 12-year-old Arif talking to adult Arif and saying, "Hey, you got to buy it"?
No, adult Arif is like, hey man, you know we're on strike, right?
Hopefully, that's going to end
the
soon.
one thing that I really liked were the keychains that they put out. I was just looking at those right now, again, revisiting it. They had the keychains and the pins that were like, they put the Looney Tunes inside of the mystery machine for one pin, which was dope. Like the Looney Tunes with Babs,
What?
like that kind of thing.
So like Tiny
So,
Toons, right?
Yeah, Tiny Toons.
Yeah.
So they
Hell
had
yeah.
that. And they had a Sesame Street lanyard thing that they did that was really cool. And there was like, little like figurine keychains with Snoopy, Lilo and Stitch, but mainly Stitch and stuff like that. It was those kind of cool things that were like, oh, okay, that's pretty dope. And the Flash ring, even though the movie was what the movie is, the Flash ring is dope as heck.
Still haven't watched it. I've heard mixed things.
It's coming to cable. It won't hurt you.
It's on HBO. Well, it's on HBO Max. I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it yet. I'm planning a rewatch of Across the Spider-Verse with Smalls. Smalls and Bree are down here this weekend,
Trust me, man.
and
that
was
right
a goat
is
movie.
Everything. It like I testified on a stack of Bibles and holy books that was the most comic book thing I've ever seen on screen.
Have you watched Mutant Mayhem yet, though?
No, actually no. But Spider-Verse is only second to the '90s X-Men for me.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I think Across the Spider-Verse is one of the best. Honestly, Spider-Verse in general has been one of the coolest things Marvel's ever done. Like, Marvel's kind of in a creative wasteland right now. They're rehashing a lot of stuff.
But is it Marvel really? I think Sony finally showed they got an animation studio.
Sony,
and they're not playing with us.
Yeah.
Legit, Sony could save Marvel if they literally. I would love to see Spider-Man produced in all sides by Sony, but that's another story for another day. Smalls, what did you see from San Diego that you liked? I mean, I have a lot I have to say, and you guys can all chime in on it, but I'll go last.
I mean, so I'm not like the huge toy guy, but there were a couple of things. The main thing for me was the limited run games is doing the TMNT soundtrack on vinyl, which
and
I
cassette
somewhere and cassette.
Yeah.
The Muhammad Ali pack, I just love it because I like Muhammad Ali.
And hey, by the way, just so you know, you can get that Muhammad Ali 2-pack from iselltoysforfun.com.
Ooh.
That's 3 plugs, Rosa.
And then there was a whole announcement of a bunch of soundtracks being put on like limited edition vinyl from Mondo.
Yeah. Mondo
so
had a huge presence with that this year.
Wall-E soundtrack is being pressed on an eco variant, so every pressing is different. The Ratatouille soundtrack is getting one. The soundtrack for Up and then Coco is getting a limited pressing as well, all from Mondo, as well as the it's probably sold out at this point. It was 2,500 pressings of the Ted Lasso theme were being pushed on pressed to 7-inch.
Wow.
That's
Well,
different.
Ted Lasso's been really popular. I personally haven't sat down and watched it yet. I know I'm going to get castrated for that.
Me neither. I mean, let's do it together.
Kindchen, come get a flight out to Boston. I'll pay. I'll send you a check.
Oh, there's actually
I
more
mean,
here
because I'm
than
so
know.
rich over here with no money.
Yeah,
Negative
There's
$8 in
also
the bank.
Wealthy.
The Batman with Robert Pattinson's also
Ooh.
getting a vinyl pressing.
Is it getting a funky
Oh.
blood red? Is it getting like a funky blood red though? That would be cool.
No, well, the cover is blood red, but it's a traffic cone yellow, orange, highlighter yellow, and like
Oh, that's cool.
That's
passion
sick.
fruit purple. It's like it's a 3 LP
Yeah.
pressing.
That sounds pretty sick.
Marvel's Werewolf by Night is getting a pressing.
Oh,
That was
that's
dope.
nice.
That
And
was a dope
then,
show.
Travelogue is getting a pressing
Okay.
as well.
So
But other than that, really for me, it was just the Muhammad Ali and the Spider-Man
Well,
2 PS5 launch that is already
just
sold
for
out.
the record,
Oh man, I forgot that.
we have that Muhammad Ali 2-pack coming. We can unbox that this weekend.
Oh, awesome.
Is it here?
Yeah, it'll be here tomorrow.
We hope.
No, it's already scheduled. It's in Quincy. I looked because I got a bunch of stuff from Mattel Creations during San Diego. I bought that. I bought Motherboard from Masters Universe Revelation, and then I bought the Steven Spielberg Jurassic Park figure for Nikki. Really cool stuff. It's all going to be here tomorrow.
Hey, you give me too much good faith in Quincy.
No, they're never late. Surprisingly enough, because they're like literally right there. I never give FedEx any faith, but they'll be here hopefully, because I need those. But yeah, I kind of honestly had the same notes. Smalls really took the notes out of my mouth. Limited run games. I bought the cassette of the TMNT soundtrack. I bought the. I got lucky with NECA. Shout out to Blaine over at NECA for the help with this one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got the Turtles 3-pack. We did an announcement for this the other day. Mine came in a little banged up, but that's okay because I'm going to let them breathe. Because this is not getting a retail release from what I understand. But dude, look at these. They have soft
wow.
yeah, they have soft goods and everything. Extra heads, all three scrolls and everything.
It's all 4 of them.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. I thought it was 4 boxes and it was just 1 turtle per box.
So
okay.
that one in the back there, the white one you can see, that's last year's. That's Secret of the Use. I bought that. I got that last year. The only one I'm missing is the original movie one from 2 or 3 years ago. But that's fine. I'll eventually get it. But I do want to talk about, and Steve, I'm sure you can really hone in on this. Arif, you can hone in on this too. That's awesome. When did Janine become a Ghostbuster? I forget.
So this is the
That was real Ghostbusters. I know that.
Yeah, this is the Mattel though. This is the Mattel 6-inch real Ghostbusters with the real cloth and everything.
That's groovy, dude. That's real groovy. But
That's nice.
San Diego Comic-Con, first things first, was a tale of 3 crowdfunds. And two of them succeeded. One of them kind of tanked. Jurassic Park had a 3.75-inch Jurassic Park that came out. HasLab had the Ghost for Ahsoka. Shout out to Rosario Dawson. She's awesome. I love her. And one of my personal favorites, a company that has been very, very good to us, very generous to us in Super 7. Congratulations to Brian and the team over there. Cat's Lair funded in 6 days.
Dude, Cat's Lair looks amazing.
It is gorgeous, right?
Amazing.
I don't collect Thundercats, but I was like, man, if I had $650 in some fucking room, I would have bought that. But I spent my, and I'm sure you saw it on the pre-show, I spent my $600 on a custom Dio. With
oh my
tag.
god!
You didn't see that?
Now that's dope.
Yo, look at this thing. It's got lights in it and everything.
That looks like the alley from the Turtles.
It's supposed to be a Dungy alley in Hell's Kitchen. I'll send you pictures after the show. But yeah, there was. I gotta say, Cat's Lair. It was very. What's the word I'm looking for? And Joe grilled me about this because I did a little principal photography for it many years ago. It was an ostentatious idea because the thing is bigger than than Snake Mountain. Snake Mountain was 3.5 feet wide and 5 feet tall. You know, and I missed that. I didn't have $800 at the time to spend on that, but I think, you know, I think crowdfunding is a great and let's to whatever you're interested in, whether it be toys, music, video games, keychains, limited run resin statues, it doesn't matter. crowdfunding gives you a great opportunity to support something you're into and not worry about having to go out to a store and be like, hey, do you guys have Czarface meets Metalface on this pressing, or to find that Stitch keychain, or in Stevie's option, something like that. And Nerd Affiliated just said it in the chat. What's up, Steve? Good to see you, brother. You need to take a mortgage out to pay for something like that because it's $650 plus $150 shipping. Okay, but
what?
Because it's shipped on a pallet.
Oh, because it's so big.
Yeah, it's freight shipped.
Okay.
So, but
Yeah.
and I want everybody's opinion on this. Like, is crowdfunding a good idea for something that you're interested in? And chat, I want you to chime in too. And I will. It's 38 pounds. Joe just said in the chat. I will name these off, guys. Is it a good idea for crowdfunds for the things you're into? Or Arif, what do you think?
I think it's good because especially if it's something you're really into. I got into the PCB crowdfunding for Exile.
Hell yeah.
The graphic novel
Hell
with
yeah.
from Steve, Adam, and Wesley Snipes.
Okay.
And I love reading it. It's very good. I can't wait to get my hands on it. Affordability, crowdfunding is good because it gives you tiers.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're really down, like with the layer. I really love it. I think it's dope. How about I just get the little small replica because I can't afford the big one.
You're
but
on
it's
strike.
Still authentic. No, but I'm saying it's still like usually they give you like a little thing, so it's still authentic. You get your little pin, you get your seal, but you may not get the actual item that you wanted, but you were part of it because you like it enough and you got enough fanfare. It's like when you're outside the school dance because like one person went in and now it's at capacity. Sometimes some products that's how it feels, especially like Comic-Con. Like you'll roll up and it's like that little kid just bought the last one. At least this way you're still kind of part of it and you can get whatever nostalgia you get for the amount of bucks you got.
Mm-hmm.
And you can make a decision.
No. Even if you just want to, if you want to put $5-10 in and say, hey, I appreciate this, I just can't afford it. It works. And Steve Lenhard just said in the chat, his worry with crowdfunding is the big brands do it. It comes off as disingenuous. I'm definitely going to get to that in a second here. Stevie Oaks, obviously, I know you're a fan of crowdfunding. You, me, and Joe go back and forth with who spends the most money on toys. It's literally a fucking competition by week who spends more on toys. Obviously, I know you're a fan of crowdfunding, so I'm just going to skip you.
Oh God. Let the man speak.
I got one thing. I got one thing to say about crowdfunding.
Do it. Do it.
Oh my God, he's got a proton.
Hey, can you say what I want you to say in Peter Griffin's voice for me? You know what I want you to say, right? What do I want you to say?
You know what really grinds my gears?
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Steve Archer just said this in the chat. By the way, guys, check out Nerd Affiliated's own Hey Archer tomorrow night at 8:15ish. YouTube.com/Nerd Affiliated. Great show. Fantastic creators. Great human beings. Arif, you should be on Steve's show. You guys would have a lot to talk about. Pre-orders have become crowdfunding to me, but I'm all about supporting brands you like. I agree with that statement. Smalls, what do you think? What's up with that? Like, if there's a record you want and the only way to get it pressed?
There's a lot of that going on ever since COVID. One of my favorite bands on the planet did it for their last 2 records. Protest the Hero, fantastic progressive metal band out of Canada. They did a crowdfund for Pacific Myth, not Pacific Rim, it's a movie. For Pacific Myth, and then that was more like an EP. And then their latest LP, Palimpsest, was also crowdfunded, but like you can donate even like $5 or $1 and you'll end up at the liner notes, or it goes towards funding the record. You get an advanced copy.
Yeah.
Hopefully some future guests on the show, Mayday.
Friends of the show, let's go.
Yeah, have done it as well. I'm actually in the liner notes of their album, South the Fifth. Wasn't even really for the album. It was when they were on tour in 2017, I think it was. Their studio in Miami was demolished in a hurricane. So they put up a crowdfund just to help rebuild the studio so they could record the album. So that helped as well. And then one of the 2 MCs in that group, recognized, very good friend of mine, friend of the show.
Let's go. We say that
does
every time we talk about a friend of the show, if you haven't noticed yet.
But he does crowdfunding. He also he's a Patreon ambassador. He's been doing it for his own solo work for a very long time. I know if you bring up crowdfunding in the metal community, the elephant in the room is the band Winter Sun, because Time 2 is never coming out, no matter what the.
You mean kind of like when Rob Liefeld did a crowdfund for like Wildcats or something, and he just took everybody's money and left. Fuck Rob Liefeld, may I add?
No, because Time 1 or Time I, however you want to look at it, was and still is one of the most bombastically over adventurous progressive Finnish metal albums of all time. The song Sons of Winter and Stars has 15,000 separate tracks in the album.
Wait,
15,000 what?
I'm not even kidding. You can look it up. There is a live recording of them doing it in the studio. There are 15,000 individual instrument tracks on the recording of that album for that. It's like 9 minutes, I think. But
15,000.
I need photos.
Roughly, I believe it was 10 or 15,000, I believe. And then there was a crowdfunding for Time 2, which never happened because Yari took all the money and then built a sauna in his house.
Just to add on to that, Steve just said, Lenhard just said in the chat, 15K layers, they couldn't mix it down on one computer.
No, they absolutely could not. It was done on whatever the hell is running NASA right now, I'm convinced.
So basically they did what OceanGate did and rented out some space from NASA and then said that NASA helped on that project. Yeah, fuck Stockton Rush.
The processing of that album was the archetype of what the 3090 ended up being, probably.
My God. So there's a lot of CUDA cores in that album.
Instead of mining Bitcoin, they were mixing the album.
They were mining vocals and riffs.
It led to the collapse of Bitcoin.
Yeah,
damn it!
That's exactly what it was, Steve. It was 10 Mac Pros all daisy chained into each other.
Well, with all that being said, I love crowdfunding. I think the one that I've loved the most so far is the WWE New Generation crowdfund. As a wrestling fan, getting that Doink the Clown Ultimate was really cool. The Diesel was really cool. I mean, everything that I've been into that I want has either been out of my price range, such as a Preternia in the Masters Universe Origins line, as you can see behind my head. $700 for it I thought was a little pretentious. And going back to Lenhardt's point about being disingenuous, Mattel came off really disingenuous with that. And Steve Archer can talk to this too. The debacle, and Joe, you can talk to this too. The debacle that was the WCW Monday Nitro Arena. I had so many conversations about why that was a bad idea. I feel that people were getting fleeced at $400 because it didn't have a ring or Eric Bischoff, and the figures were all just retooled versions of figures that came out. So, honestly, I think when it really comes down to it, as collectors, as people who really just enjoy our hobbies, even if that's something like Arif, if you're working on a game and you're crowdfunding they're crowdfunding it to bring you in, and they're billing you as one of the voices of the game, like one of the lead characters, like, hey, this is Arif S. Kindchen, he was the voice of Pierce in Saints Row. I know I jump on that all the time because it's one of your biggest roles, and it's one of the most popular roles you have too. Like everybody loved Pierce. Let's be real. If you didn't like Pierce, you have problems. But the thing about it is like it provides an opportunity for the audience to get involved, but it also provides, an opportunity for us to get there. And Archer, once again in the chat, imagine how many people wouldn't have purchased Cat's Lair if the Nitro stage was on its way. Yeah, Cat's Lair wouldn't have made it. So I guess you could say that crowdfunding has been a gift and a curse. San Diego Comic-Con was very telling of that. Star Wars fans are very hardcore, but they're also very backwards because they'll support Ahsoka, but they won't support Rey. Come on. That's bullshit. Yeah. Couple other things coming out of San Diego Comic-Con that were really cool, and I'm really excited about. Tony Todd officially finally announced as the voice of Venom for Spider-Man PS5.
Oh, man.
Holy shit. Tony Todd is one of the greatest of all time, Candyman, for those of you who don't know. By the way, guys, we are on an ad break. If you are on a non-paid subscription to this channel. Time to subscribe.
Yep.
But that was cool. And Smalls touched on limited run games. The TMNT soundtrack's coming back out for the video games. Fantastic. I think we can all agree there's never enough Ninja Turtles. Especially looking over Stevie Oak's left shoulder, there is definitely never enough Ninja Turtles. I mean, also, hey, Steve, I see you got 2 banners hanging up. Are you rooting for the Atlanta Falcons?
No, I'm rooting for the Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos.
Uh-oh.
It's a Simpsons joke for those who don't know it.
I know.
Yeah, ads, join the membership and skip them like a man. Be a man. Couple other big things came out of San Diego Comic-Con. We already touched on Muhammad Ali. This was a point of disconcerting to me because I don't know if it was a point of racism or a point of just not knowing who Muhammad Ali was, but that 2-pack did not sell well at all.
Really?
Wow.
It did not sell out until Mattel took it down. So it was just a point of contention with obvious reasons because people are stupid as fuck. Or was it
do you
made
think
to
it's
order?
an age thing?
Yes and
It
no.
could be, just 'cause-
No, and what I mean by that is it's a double-edged sword. As technology grows and all these funding things are happening, the people who probably would have got excited for it, are they somewhat aged out of the process?
Well, San Diego's
Because my
exclusives.
mom can't handle a Zoom to save her life.
I get it. San Diego Comic-Con is regularly a time of year, as we all know, that people go after, things that are limited. This was concerning to me because last year I had to fight tooth and nail to get Debo and fucking Rip Hulk Hogan and Tiny Lister. No Holds Barred being one of the greatest cult classics of all time, one of my favorite movies, with the beautiful Joan Severance next to Hulk Hogan as one of the stars. Kurt Fuller's in it. It was not a good movie by any means, and in anyone's eyes except for like mine and Dan's, my other producer. It's one of those things where like you'd think someone like Muhammad Ali, who's had such an impact on pop culture, such an impact on civil rights, and I'm going to call it what it is. The man is a legend because he stood up for the rights of all. He was a good human being and willing to teach all. And he is the greatest trash talker and boxer of all time. The statement float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can't hit what you can't see. It was real with him, but he was in 1984 when the first WrestleMania happened. He was a pop culture icon. So yeah, I think that could be it. But then you're gonna have that person who's like, why wasn't it this person? Why is it this old? And I'm not gonna spout a bunch of racial nonsense because you know me, it's not my style, and I'm not that person. I believe in being excellent to all. But man, how do you not know Muhammad Ali? Muhammad Ali is taught in schools, man.
Let's talk about the argument of that.
Let's please.
Yeah,
I just think that how can I say this without offending? I think that a lot of people.
You can be as brutal as you need to be.
I don't want to offend any of the young viewers because it's not their fault. But a lot of people are just looking at what they want to because of the availability of the internet. The internet allows you to skip over a lot of stuff. You go directly to what you want to see. Whereas like back in the day, if you only got 2, 4, 5, and 7 as your channels, you watch what's on TV and you learn about a lot of stuff that you probably would have never learned about. Now, if something's on the Kennedy Center Honors, how many kids sat in front of the TV with a TV tray watching that with your family because it was on, or Soul Train, or American Bandstand, or the New Year's thing? You watched it because it was on the TV and you were happy to be up late.
So
you know what I'm saying? Now kids just jump on their tablets and watch exactly what they want.
It's funny you say that because you're right. We have the ability to kind of moderate our dopamine. And that's really what society's come down to. I've been building a Plex server. This is a fun side conversation that adds into this. And I've been pulling all my favorite shows from childhood: Batman the Animated Series, Dino Riders, you name it, Hanna-Barbera, Hong Kong Phooey, like You know, I never grew. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to look at certain things that I was into when I was younger and be like, man, that's been canceled. I never looked at it that way because I never was a dick to anybody. People were a dick to me. I was just nice to people. I still am. I don't know. I think I have a much cooler life than most of the people that bullied me, so fuck all them anyway. You're all into the same shit as me now, too, and some of you are actually watching me, so kiss my ass.
There it is.
But anyway, the point is like, I agree with you, but I think that's something that's so lost on these kids' culture, and, you know, it really sucks that the internet is that way. Like, sometimes it's just fun to go out of your way and go on a deep dive on the history of something. Like, the other day, like, I just let my YouTube play, and this is really funky, but it got into the history of the Beach Boys. And I knew about the Beach Boys. Yeah, I knew about the Beach Boys, but I came up on this random-ass documentary, and I watched it. And I was like, yeah, that was cool. And, like, I'll do that every now and again. Like, I'll just go back and watch stuff randomly. And, I mean, I like horror movies, and I like this, and I like that. But I'm a sucker for a good documentary. So, like, yeah, like, I get what you're saying about people skipping over things, but I think that's one thing that's lost on these kids. Like, you've been seeing a lot of Muhammad Ali on the internet lately. There's this video that's been going around of him trying to teach this young man to box. Like, I'm sure you've seen this. It's a reel. He talks about throw a punch at me, and he's trying to teach the kid how to block. It was on like Donahue, and from the '80s. And you know, Muhammad Ali was a man of the people, and that's what's so admirable after all Ali went through. You know, converting to Islam, being just a human being, being Cassius Clay and converting to being Muhammad Ali, you know, the personal journey that man had is amazing. And, like, there's so much of that out there, especially, like, I'll give Marvel a little credit. One of my favorite characters of all time, and I don't know how many of you know this, is Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
I love... And I remember when I met her, I said to G. Willow Wilson, I said to her, I'm like, I really love the story that you're telling about Miss Marvel. And she says to me, she goes, what resonates with you? I said to her, I'm like, I've always looked at Miss Marvel as a coming of age tale of someone who's dealing with extraordinary circumstances, trying to find their place in life, their place in religion, and just where they belong in society, and being met with adversity and roadblocks and hate. And I just, it's a beautiful story. Like, if you have not read Miss Marvel, guys, chat, you guys, go read it.
The original, not the Rebirth. The original.
No. Read the Rebirth too. Support the character.
No. I'm saying read the original first, because the Rebirth is a great retelling by the actress and some great Marvel writers.
Yeah, but the one thing that I'm questioning right now about her is that they sent her to Krakoa and they made her a mutant. She's an Inhuman. She wasn't. Yeah. I don't understand. I need to catch up. That's just me, but
That's Marvel.
Small Stevie, chime in any time here. Like, what's your feeling on people not knowing Ali? And just this segregation of the internet, for that matter. It provides a great side question.
It's not even the segregation of the internet. I think it goes back to the entire concept of we live in the age of, like Arif said, it's instant gratification of what you want to watch. I grew up with channel 3, 5, 7, 9, and 13 in my house.
Yes. Hell yeah. It's the best way to grow up, man.
I watched what was on TV. I grew up with PBS and Channel 4 News. But
I grew up
it's
watching the Red Sox.
It's also the stuff with age. Like, there are kids today that are in school currently. You said they teach Muhammad Ali in school. I watched a video earlier today of a kid who's in high school being asked what the capital of his own state is.
Ouch.
He lived in California.
It's Taunton, right?
Sacramento.
He said Albany.
What?
Oh, well, that's
people
special.
that are in school that are being taught stuff don't retain anything.
Well,
regardless if it's being taught to them or not, they're not interested in it. They're not going to retain it.
Well, being the
Do you know of any good
Alexa,
jokes?
stop. But being the husband of a teacher, I see that, and it frightens me. Like my own daughter, it's frightening. Like, we had a conversation the other day. I said, my daughter has seen some adversity. She grew up with some backwards views, if you want my honest opinion. If she had me around, she'd be more cultured. I asked her the other day who the greatest rapper of all time is. Now, before I say that, Stevie, who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Eminem.
Okay. Kindchen.
I'd probably still have to stand with Rakim.
Ooh, great pick. Great. Wow, underrated pick. Wow, God damn, you never cease to amaze me.
You say Rakim is underrated? Who are you talking to?
Like a lot of people don't have him in his
bro.
in the GOAT conversation. A lot of people
Right
don't.
now, Rakim is having a resurgence because of Jazzy Jeff.
yeah, and that's a good call. Smalls, who is it for you?
Jesus.
Wait, hold on. Let me get some music for this. Take your time.
I know you're playing the Jeopardy.
You got 27 seconds. Don't worry, you're good.
I honestly, man, that's tough. I'd have to go. I mean, I was raised on East Coast hip hop, but I have to go with probably Nas, Biggie, or I'm gonna go underrated as well and say Big L.
Wow, two solid picks.
You know
dude.
What? And he chose two rappers who are highly revered that didn't even have enough time to really shine as far as they probably could have.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can I tell you somebody who's totally underrated, and I had the pleasure of finally seeing him live a couple weeks ago? Warren G.
Oh, yeah.
Warren G. Yeah. Too Short, another one right there, just unbelievable. Yeah. I got his first show in Boston ever. Amazing. Just I love these guys growing up. For me,
his first show?
Yeah, he never had been to Boston. What's up, Stevie? Go ahead, bro. Stevie, just jump in anytime. Don't raise your hand. Just talk.
So mine was out of jest. I was just trying to be funny with.
No, Eminem's a great pick.
But hear me out. Okay, so growing up, I thought he was an idiot just because the for shizzle my nizzle and all that fun stuff. But Jay-Z, and the reason why I'm going to say this is because he came out with a book a few years back.
Another
and it
great
was like
pick.
An anthology book. It was the anthology book where basically talked about all his hit songs, how he wrote it and why he wrote it. And
he's a genius, dude.
Hearing him or reading him speak about it really brought it into context and how brilliant his rhymes and his rapping, how he put everything together and how it meant something from his life.
I'm so happy this conversation is happening because this is actually shit that I can talk about and know what I'm saying.
Smalls is not just being a co-host tonight; he's being a lead. I
know. My time to shine.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna throw another one out there, and I get crazy looks for this one constantly, just based off of his current persona. I'm gonna put Lil Wayne in top six. Top six.
Okay. I won't argue with that.
If you look at his older records, and even he has hits on it's something that I've talked about with my friends. We have a buddy of mine streams on YouTube, and every night we always say, here's three, you got to get rid of one. And it's always like three of their favorites. But the only person that I feel that could go against Eminem in a versus, back when that was a thing on like Instagram and stuff, would be Lil Wayne. If you go hit for hit from the beginning of their discography and everything from LPs, EPs, compilations, mixtapes, live recordings, everything, Lil Wayne is untouchable across his entire spectrum. Like the Carter 2 to me,
ever since Cash Money 2, 24 years.
The Carter 2 for me is a top 5 rap album of all time.
It totally is.
And they lost it. They lost the whole hard drive, and dang near had to come back from scratch.
And they crushed that record.
Now listen, there's a great special. Of course, I saw the bootleg version on YouTube, but there was a thing on, I think it was Unsung, with Lil Wayne being interviewed by Missy Elliott. That's a dynamic interview if I've ever seen one. Like the stuff he talked about his childhood, the whole fact of him shooting himself, and what was it, Uncle Daddy or Uncle Bobby, all that stuff, and him writing those songs. Was it really Uncle Tom?
I think it was Uncle Tom.
Oh my!
It was Uncle Tom.
But it was super dope to just listen to him talk, and it's like, you know what? You keep forgetting Lil Wayne went to college. That was a big deal when he did it too.
Very educated young man. Very educated.
He was also like a straight A student.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because he did an interview. I think it was with VH1. I think. years ago when I was in college, and they still did music on that channel.
You mean VH1 had a music channel? What? You mean MTV had music too? What?
Yeah. But he said something said something so matter of factly that I was like, you know what? That makes perfect sense. He's like, the work is right there. They tell you how to do the work in the book. Just follow the directions.
Yeah, he really did.
School is not hard.
No, he really did. So this is where I'm gonna jump in.
Hold on before we go. I want to throw 3, and I'm gonna break up some groups as well as put the groups in.
I'm about to do that myself.
Okay.
Oh, so, I can do this too.
So Run the Jewels. I cannot choose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
De La Soul.
Thank you.
Choose Pasta Noose. I thought so. Pasta Noose. His nickname is his last name is Mercer, so they call him Mercenary. A lot of people don't know his nickname is Mercenary, and when you listen to Pasta Noose go off, it's very Snake Eye and Deadpoolish. Like he murders everybody. And Big Daddy Kane.
Yes.
That verse, verse is proving me, like that verse just reminded me of like who the heck he was. It was like, yo, Big Daddy Kane is, oh my God.
Hell
and
yeah.
he still got it.
Hell yeah.
He still got breath control.
Hell yeah. So I'm just going to start this statement off. I said this on episode 7, season 1, when we had Esoteric on, because I'm a Boston guy. I'm very biased. I called Esoteric a top 5 of all time. I stand by that conversation. I stand by that too. It is absolutely true.
The day a Boston guy is biased.
He is one of the greatest of all time. Czarface has obviously proved that. Esoteric versus Japan proved that. There's just, you could go through his entire discography between the two and literally pick it apart, and you couldn't argue with me if you tried. I'm also sending him that right now as I said that. But for me, I'm going to put a couple underrated guys up there. I'm going to put Warren G in that conversation. I'm going to put Missy Elliott in that conversation.
You know what? She doesn't ever get the love.
No.
She never does.
You know who else I'm going to put right next to her is Our Lady of Rage.
Oh, yeah.
I rock and sock with my Afro Puff. You all remember that.
Another one album.
Glenn took the words right out of my mouth.
4 albums.
A Tribe
Called
albums.
Quest. Yeah. Who?
Tribe Called Quest.
Just as a group.
Oh yeah.
Well, let me add a group in there too.
My problem with Tribe Called Quest. Everybody always talks about Tribe, and I love Tribe, but it's like I love De La more than I love Tribe. All day because of the pound for poundness of them, and
you know what turned me on to De La Soul?
Nostalgia.
Do you remember when they did Chappelle Show?
Jungle Brothers before Tribe.
Do you remember when De La Soul did Chappelle Show and they rapped on the bus? That's what turned me on to them. You know who else I was turned on to on that show was Common and Kanye West. Fuck Kanye though now because
Yeah. Oh yeah, that dude is wild.
But anyway, another one that I really got turned on to through that was Black Star. I put Black Star in that conversation.
Oh my God, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
But Talib Kweli to this day
is a go.
He called two Mex a racist, and I can't mess with him because I am from LA and I'm part of the good life. You don't go against the good life. You don't go against Micah 9. You don't go against Rifleman. You do not go against Medusa, and you definitely don't go against the members of OMD.
No.
You never mess with a Mexican descent. You never mess with a Mexican descent. And then by you doing that, now you're messing with the Visionaries.
You talked about this the last time you were on, too.
The greatest, well-rounded hip-hop groups of all time, second only to Black Eyed Peas.
Kindchen, you talked about this last time you were on, too.
Man.
Hey, guys, go back and watch episode 3 of season 1. Kindchen was on. It was an amazing conversation, may I add.
I lost a lot of love for Talib, even though as a man and for music and what he means to the culture, he matters.
All right, ready? Here's Black Star. Ready? They're being taken out of the conversation. They're out of the claw machine.
No.
That's fine.
No. They're amazing, but my personal hate will stand.
I'm also gonna Too Short's right up there too. Too Short's amazing.
Yo, if you E40
is up there too.
He's never mentioned. That's enough. If you really think about it.
Listen, I'm gonna put somebody in there that never got mentioned. I guarantee you. And that's because this guy, when he talks, it's 1,000 degrees. You'll be on your knees. You'll be burning, begging, please. Brother Freeze. Craig Mack.
Yep.
The late Craig Mack.
Yes.
Get Down was the tune of the 90s. Don't care what anybody said. Because who got the flav that come a dime a dozen that keep them busting? thinking that they fat when they wasn't. Welcome to the Word of Mac. Craig Mack is my guy. He has always been my guy. He was Biggie before Biggie was Biggie. Go ahead, Kindchen. And last but not least, and it's a toss-up between Pac and Biggie, obviously, two of the greatest of all time. But I'm gonna put Snoop there. But I'm gonna catch a lot of flack for this. Method Man and Redman are my goats.
You're okay. You're not going to get any flag from me on either one of them because Redman is one of my favorite
Brick
rappers.
City.
I stand by my statement on this. I have genuinely lost friends over this. Yes, Pac and Biggie are giants in their name. They have some of the finest grades in the school of hip hop. But I would say that they are the greatest of their time.
Okay.
Because of the 90s.
Not an argument. That's a solid point.
That is, they were coming out of the popularity and the controversy of gangster rap and telling a story and in a character arc of their demographic.
And the beef of East Coast was huge, dude.
And that's the thing. So like they were battling. It was the Coke and Pepsi, the Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, Arby's of rap.
Yeah.
But it was of that time. It was of the 90s. I can think of 5 rappers right now in this current age that can out-rap either of them, and I've mentioned 2 of them here.
Can I add one that could? And you and I both love him very dearly. Kansas City's own Tech Nine.
Yeah.
Tech Nine
I would even put most of Strange Music on that list. And that's not even me being
Strange
biased,
is insane.
Because
just
they're
like it
all
because he's
friends
from
of
Kansas
mine.
City.
No, I liked Tech Nine before I started watching football again.
But like Tech Nine, Chris Calico, as much as he is a singer over a rapper, because he is a classically trained opera singer, and that comes through on most of his records.
What he did on Caribou Lou made him huge.
I'll tell you what he did on Caribou Lou. Go back and listen to his entire album of Vitaglio. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
you want to talk about breath control? Yeah. Listen to Kicking and Screaming or Vitaglio. If you want to listen to ubiquitous and unfortunately Gaudamus kind of fell off the map, Obsessed Group. You have Recognize and Burns together as Mayday or separate. J-Rock, who's on TDE with Kendrick Lamar, started on Strange Music. You have Cut Calhoun, who's on Black and Gold Records. Now he founded his own label. Brother Lynch, who's a guy I do not want to cross or meet in a dark alley because that man scares the shit.
By the way, can we also add Wu-Tang Clan as a whole to this list because everybody in Wu-Tang Clan was a goat?
Yes, we can. But that also, I feel like that's also kind of cheating. Solely because there's 97 members in Wu-Tang Clan and all of them have 4 other side groups.
Yeah, and they're all beasts.
They are. Wu-Tang is absolutely on there. Cypress Hill is another good one.
Listen, Hits from the Bong is how also, I wake up, man. So
we know. I would also say Odd Future. It took me a long time to come around on Tyler, not as a group, but Tyler the Creator specifically.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Tyler the Creator. Cool.
It took me so long to come around to Tyler the Creator. Bone Thugs and Harmony's a great other option.
Absolutely. But I mean, anything that came out of that West Coast family, like Dr. Dre, you can put up there too. Eazy-E, you can put up there. You can put up 90% of NWA.
You know, I'm just gonna go out there and just throw in Kid and Play while we're at it.
Kid and Play rocks.
Great.
Kid Play's amazing. Awesome. Face the Nation is one of my favorite records of all time, man.
Yeah, I was just throwing it out there because I'm friendly with DJ Wiz.
Really?
There you go.
Look at Stevie Oaks knowing cool people. But moving on from music, a couple little small things to add. Criss Cross does not belong on that list. Sorry, they can make you jump, but they need to turn their pants around. Run DMC is a good choice too. Amanda just put that in the chat. But
DMX could go up there as
DMX,
well.
yeah. Let's we got to move on from music because we still got a ton of show to get to.
I know. I'm gonna put one more out there, and if anyone disagrees with me, I will see you in these streets. Andre 3000.
Yes. Okay, so a couple small things came out of San Diego Comic-Con of note. And when Kindchen gets back, I hope to hear him talk about this. Motherfucking Keith David was announced as the voice of Hordak for Masters of the Universe Revelation. I'm only talking about this because it was already announced prior to the strike. So that was cool. And Nickelodeon finally acquired the rights to TMNT 87. First 5 episodes are on youtube.com/TMNT. They're a little bit redone, you'll notice. A couple voices are different, etc. But definitely worth it. Sorry, guys, we could talk music all night, but you're going to have to listen to the Photo Pit podcast for a lot more of that. So coming very soon.
The PPC coming soon.
To the brand show. So...
Can I make one observation, one con observation?
Absolutely.
I love it when I see other celebrities fangirling over other celebrities.
That is fun. That is super fun. Hey, listen, while Kindchen's out, let's take a couple minutes. Let's take a break. Everybody get up, get a glass of water, get yourself a drink, get another blunt, get a bag of Doritos, dye your hair.
Yeah, maybe Chris Cross will make you jump.
Maybe Chris Cross will make you jump, and you'll turn your pants around and sing about the Mac
I've always
Daddy.
wondered how they used the bathroom during that video shoot.
Yeah, they had to unbutton and poop out the back. You know, they pooped out the pee hole. So it's the brand show. Stevie Oaks, Arif S, Kindchen are joining us tonight. It's the brand and Smalls. We will be right back with you in just 5 short minutes. Hang out. I hit the wrong button. Welcome back to the Brand Show. It's Smalls this chair, the Brand, Stevie Oaks, Arif S. Kindchen, spokesperson.
Hey, Smalls, you're looking very leathery right now.
Yeah, Smalls' chair kind of looks like Hulk Hogan circa 1994 right now.
He's just spending some time in Florida.
Yeah, well, Smalls
must have gotten very small for us not to see him in that chair.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the main topic of the evening. We're running a little behind schedule, and that's okay. I don't care how late we go, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. Tonight, we are here to talk about the Writers Guild strike. The Writers Guild has been on strike for just about 90 days now, over 90 days. May 2nd.
No. 100 today.
100 today? 100 days. That's not something to celebrate. That's pathetic on the studio executive side. Fuck Bob Iger. There, I said it.
Why Disney ever hired him back, I don't know.
Listen.
Well, we'll talk about that as we go on.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna get into that and some concerns that we as professionals have and as actors have and so forth. And as somebody who's voice acted that is not SAG, this is I've been contacted for work and I've declined work over this, but there's some massive concern out there. Yeah, fuck that, man. I ain't crossing no picket lines. I ain't no scab.
I haven't had the opportunity to cross the picket line.
Yep, we lost Kindchen again. That's okay. Kindchen will be back. There he is.
There he is. Hey.
The Writers Guild has been on strike since May 2nd. They went on strike demanding higher pay and a more stable pay structure, as well as fair deals in contracts and provisioning about artificial intelligence. Fuck Stephen Amell as well. That's another one I want to say. I gave him the middle finger at Fan Expo Boston this weekend.
And Jamie Lee Curtis. Let's not forget her.
I'm biased to Jamie Lee Curtis, but, fuck Jamie Lee Curtis at the same time. Jamie, get your head out of your ass, please. But anyway, Disney and Netflix being the main proponents of this would be scheduled to lose 1 to 2% of their profit margin if the strike ended. Wow, 1 to 2%. That's so much money. Like, Jesus Christ. And then Disney CEO Bob Iger makes a reported $75,000 a day. Okay, that's all. 75 grand. That's literally what I make a year.
I would have wet my ass with that.
If I make 75 grand a year, I'm lucky. Okay. Couple points of contention here. The average actor doing commercials and so forth like that. David Ramsey, you can fuck yourself too. Thank you, Slen. The average point here is that your average actor, depending on what they're doing outside of their regular job, works 3 to 4 jobs. A lot of these actors are only making $38,500 a year for their voice acting talents, their talents, and so forth. Our good friends from SAG-AFTRA had joined the strike as well in solidarity with the Writers Guild because you know what? What says, hey, we truly believe in this more than standing alongside those who are writing what you're working on, and as we have many friends and many guests who've come through this show that are SAG-AFTRA, we love and respect you guys for what you're doing, and we in solidarity with the Writers Guild and the friends of SAG that we have, as Kindchen kind of just loses himself again. We postponed our last episode because Arif and Kevin is not with us tonight because he's still on the picket lines. We're on the picket lines with their brothers and sisters of the acting community and the writing community, and man, we respect the shit out of that. Like, plain and simple, there's no you can't get mad about that. And if anybody in this community is mad about this, please feel free to leave my show right now. This is more important than entertainment. There's major concern around artificial intelligence in all countries. Yes. There is major concern about actors and actresses not getting paid right. And we're not just talking about the upper echelon. We're talking about guys like Arif who voice act and do games and so forth like that and aren't billionaires because, they're not in every Star Wars movie or something like that. Like, and Joe just said it in the chat, AI is going to fuck us so bad. Now, with AI can go one of two ways. AI can triple the world's profits or AI can destroy everything. And I think one thing that needs to happen is that, first of all, yes, Skynet taught us nothing, obviously, because we're stupid. People are literally running towards AI like in droves. And that's the problem with TikTok. It's all AI now. But we all have concerns about AI. As a technological professional, I have concerns about AI and its ability to learn. I also have concerns because it could replace me at my job. I hope to be a full-time podcaster before I do that, so please donate to this channel.
Yes.
But with that being said, let's dive into it. For those of you who don't know what artificial intelligence is, read a fucking book. Artificial intelligence is a learning algorithm that can literally mimic the positioning and jobs of humans. We're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing a lot of that in retail with self-checkout, with the messaging boards at McDonald's and stuff, because you go to a McDonald's now and nobody even says hello to you. It's just some angry city kid who goes, I won't. I'm sorry. Like I don't eat fast food anymore. First of all, because it's just terrible, and second of all, because when I'm handing you $25 of my hard-earned money for a Big Mac, French fries, and a large Coke, as well as the same thing for my wife, say hi. Thank you. That'll be $24.96. Thank you. And, you know, I'm trying to be polite to you and you're not talking to me. Well, fuck you. And that's a big fuck you to McDonald's in Stoughton. So, but the fact of the matter here is that you're seeing it forced on you. Snapchat, Bree just said in the chat. Accurate. I would rather go to a restaurant and leave a nice tip for some waitress that's just trying to get through college or just trying to take care of her family, you know, because she's doing her thing. You know, but this is, you know, we're in a scenario right now, friends, where the world is changing once again like it did for boomers, and we have the ability to either understand and learn AI and get ahead of it, which I have personally decided I'm hopefully going to be able to do come this fall. I'm going to join Coursera and take some courses just to get ahead of it, so that way when the inevitable happens, I'm ready for it, and I can be like, hey, I'm certified in this, and this. I know artificial intelligence. Or we can sit back and be like, well, truck driving is the job of the future. They took our jobs. Donald Trump's going to save us from AI. No, the fuck he isn't. He's going to replace you as fast as he can. Most businessmen would, no, AI is not important, whatever you say. Now, a concern we have here is with AI, a concern we have here, and I say this as a photographer, and I think I speak for Smalls too, AI steals our work. Plain and simple. It samples work from all over the internet, and I have found 66,422 different instances of my work being used in AI. Simple Google search will show you what of your work has been stolen and what it was. And it's frightening that I'm not getting paid for that. Like, the amount of money I should be making in DCMA claims, but I can't sue AI. Is frightening, and a big point of contention is that when Marvel launched Secret Invasion, they openly used AI for the intro, and the intro sucked. So let's lead off with someone who's actually a foremost expert in this, because he's on the picket lines. And this man is going to speak very passionately, so be ready to be empowered, be ready to be angry, be ready to have your eyes opened. Let's let Kindchen do his thing. Kindchen, I'm going to mute my mic and let you talk.
All right. So we've been out there. We were going out there with the WGA, who's been doing their thing. But the whole situation with AI that I can tell from my personal is that we all saw Skynet and we didn't learn anything. And as cool as it is, I did the pictures from Lenza like everybody else. I freaking loved them. They were great. But I instinctively and with pure knowledge used it instead of paying somebody to do it, because it was like, oh, it's $10. It's cheap. It'll just take my pictures and do something. But I didn't factor in the fact that it was a learning tool that had taken from so many different other artists and did theft as opposed to something creative like we would do with like Corel Paint or something. I thought it was going to be simple like that, and it's not. The Chat GTP thing, it will never be able to write as good. It will write something that is very instinctive. It'll write something that makes a lot of sense to the average person, but it will never be as good as a person that hankered down in their basement or Starbucks or in the back of their car and wrote something for you, especially if they're not part of a writing team, which is what the WGA has been fighting for TV shows especially. When I came up in the 90s, there was the writer's room, and literally when you walk by it, it was like 10, maybe 15 people, and you knew when they walked on, a lot of that laughter on Family Matters and stuff like that, and Cosby Show and TV shows of the past that seemed like it was placed there so you knew where to laugh. A lot of that is writers, and then the writers doing it so it becomes contagious, and then the audience does it. And it was a beautiful thing. People could have lives. People could drive fancy cars. People could send their kids to college. People could make a living doing what you would consider a nerd job because they got good grades in creative writing. And they were able to turn that into a career and do something.
And you look back
and
at
make a difference.
and you look back at those early '90s shows, Arif, and Family Matters is a beautiful example of teaching us. I lived and breathed by that show. I lived and breathed by every word that came out of Carl Winslow's mouth, the lessons that he learned. I will say this to you. I will say this as a man.
That's like five people in that room's dad compiled.
I would have killed to have a father like that.
Think about that. Yeah,
that man
and it was so great.
That man brought me to tears so many times. Like when Eddie joined the force, or when Eddie tried to join a gang. Like just the way he handled it and how passionate he was, and just how honest and raw he was. Man, it was. And I had the chance to meet Jaleel White, and I met him by accident, and I shook his hand, and I was like, I just want you to understand the impact you had on my life. You know, and he goes, you know, and he looked me right in the eyes, and he went like this: Family Matters wasn't made for the white kids. And I laughed, and I was like, "It doesn't matter." It was.
Yes, it was.
It was the
it
message.
Was made for everybody.
It was the message that came across. The message was to be good to people, to respect your elders, to learn when the opportunity is there, to be a good person to all people, to accept and love all people. And man, Carl Winslow is the father we all deserved but never got. Let's be real.
And it's those type of things that are not able to be achieved in the writer's room right now. When I started, it was 26 episodes a season and knocked down to 24 right when I got started, and then went to like the 22 market. By 2000, it was like a 17 episode season, and then it went down to a 13 episode season. And right about now, because of streaming, we got 6 to 8, right?
Yeah, because people have short attention spans.
Yeah. And I said it at the beginning of the 2000s. I said, you know what? Half the people in this line are famous, but I don't watch AMC or Bravo. And I didn't mean that as a diss. I meant that as a truth. It's like, there's so many choices of what to watch on TV. There's people that are phenomenally famous, and they can walk past me, and I can walk past them and never in my life know. But the kids know, or that lady knows, or the other person knows. But I'm getting off topic. With the writers, it's just like reading a book. You remember what those were?
Yeah. Hey, real quick, because you brought up episodes, I just want to bring up Sparks for a second here. The first season of Sparks was, if I'm not mistaken, it was supposed to be 21 episodes, and it ended up being 19, right?
No, it's 24, and then the second season ended
up
being 19.
There we go. Yeah.
But we got cut.
I watched it back a couple weeks ago. Love that show. Another show I just absolutely love. Hey, it was a great show. It was a fantastic
died
show.
way too soon.
No, it really did.
They could have killed my character, and it still would have been a great show.
Absolutely.
But it's like the soul and the necessity of writers is to keep you going. Like the first season of The Witcher, it had great source material, and then it had people in there putting their stuff in. Game of Thrones had the actual writer there helping with it, and then people helped to balloon it out. And no matter what you may think of those particular shows, then you go to Dynasty, and then you go to Hack, which is freaking brilliant. Hack was brilliant over on HBO Max at the time. And then even Insecure is phenomenal, just the way that she wrote, like, and it was a plain speech type of writing. And then you go down to 1883, which is, whoa, that's a fever dream of a show. And then you get into, more fanfare with like Burn Notice,
good show.
Famous over on USA. And it was like Burn Notice, Suits, and something else. It's like, yeah, if you don't watch USA, you probably don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Yeah.
But those were dope shows. That if you watch them right now, they're still dope because of great writing.
And that's the problem. There's
and
too
then
much.
the acting is great. But it starts off with that script. And as a person that's been trying to sell a show and working on the side of people selling shows, it's got to be dope on the page. And then when we're talking to you with our passion, then we convince you because you've already read it. Now you want to talk to us. And then when we shoot something, we got to be able to convey that passion, that page, and good acting with some great angles. And then you get it. And so all of that is WGA, SAG, and IATSE put together to make those things happen. And right now, with this strike, the writers are suffering. Everybody that has a passion is working 2-3 jobs, as you said. And right now, the people that are being hurt the worst are craft service, the grips,
your best
the lighting,
boys,
the groundskeeper, the best boys, stunts, special effects, who get crunch time horribly, just like video games. It's all the same thing. They get just crunch time.
Overworked.
Editors, sound people, script supervisors. For those who don't know what a script supervisor is, I'm probably saying it wrong, but they're there to make sure we say our lines the right way.
Animators
and whenever
too.
when you see those oh heck yeah, when you see those jokes, when you see people say line, and there's a person that says it to them, that's who they are. And they're also there used to be a control room. That's the other thing. There used to be a control room where the executive producer, script supervisor, your DP, and your sound and lighting people were there on show night, and they're looking at that wall of camera of TV screens, making sure everything's going right, and they're calling out stuff from their headsets to their teams, all on the leadership of the EP, which is the executive producer.
You know what's funny, Kindchen, too? Like
yeah.
we run this show old school. Like if you look in my chat,
yeah.
my production assistant and my executive producer are both in the chat.
See,
they're there for a reason, because if I flub something, or if Smalls flubs something, one of us will get a message. Hey, you missed this, or you'll get a message saying, hey, don't forget to mention this. Like, they have direct access to our show notes. They have direct access to everything we do. We run a very tight ship around here.
It's an entertainment show. It's done within your home, but it's an entertainment show, and you're moving toward that.
I produce everything, but the point I'm getting at here is like you were just saying, you can't do it without a team. You're right. Yeah. I have Dan, my brother Dan, looks over all my scripts. Okay, my script is then handed to Smalls to approve.
So he's an editorial supervisor.
He's an editorial supervisor, basically. Yes.
Yep.
And then Bree looks over everything to make sure that I am organized and I'm ready to go. Okay, my video editor Booty is also in the chat too. So like literally,
your DP,
yeah, my DP, yeah, exactly. So if you look at our team is layered out the way it would be. Let's just say, like, if you remember Wayne's World, when you saw Russell and I forget the other dude's name, that Russell's this executive producer played by Kurt Fuller in Wayne's World. If you looked at it like that, that's how we run our room. Like, yeah, maybe Smalls doesn't add a ton to the script, but what he adds is always sourced, reliable. Like, I will line everything because I went to school for production. That's just Smalls you'll agree with me on this. I have a death grip on everything going on here. And I'm working on it. I promise. This is why we're building a team, because I know I need people to help me.
It's your baby. It's your baby.
But at the same time, you can't be successful without trust.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the big issues. And Stevie, you're trying to break into voice acting. I'd love to hear your opinion from the other side of this too. You need trust. You need people, and you need reliability. And when I tell you, John, Chris, Booty, Bree, they keep me, and Dan, they keep me organized. I have a 5-person team for a 2-person show. That should tell you something.
There it is. So imagine with the budget you have. So you want to do a multi-million-dollar show, advertise it with another, let's say, 10 million stacked onto that for advertisement. But you want to have people that come in before you shoot, make scripts, and then so that's 10 people for 3 weeks or maybe a month. And then maybe one of them gets to hang out and stick around while you're shooting it. You don't have those people that wrote those stories there on set with you to be like, you know what, that line doesn't work. Let's rework it. Okay, sing it out loud. Let's do this. Which is what writers do to help you. It's like, even though we're doing improv with direction is brilliance. Improv with just you doing it, you might get a funny sketch, but even SNL has people there.
Yeah, no, but
and everybody's at the type of the crap, and that's why the SNL's writers' room is a big deal.
It's the best writers room in the
writers' room.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Best
it's
writers room in
those people.
Yeah, it's the best in the business now.
And they're like 4 minutes, and like each sketch is 4 minutes long, and it's like that's like
the stars 16
are
to 24.
Them, but
that's 16 to 24 hours of writing.
There's a lot of people helping to write these little small funny things. Your 4 minutes takes at least probably 5 days. Your 4 minutes takes 5 days.
We put and again, this is something where I'm just to double back to my point about having a death grip on everything. I'm teaching my staff my role as EVP, as CEO, as executive producer. I've been working with Smalls the last year to get him up to speed to where I am, and it's a long process. Smalls, you can speak to that. It's a very long process. Speak to it. Go ahead. There's a long process involved, though.
Yeah, I am astounded this man's head hasn't flown off into the stratosphere with everything this guy does that I didn't even know happened.
Thank you. I appreciate
behind the
that.
scenes.
But it's
honestly,
it's a labor of love, man.
I just, yeah.
But the point is and this is what I've realized. I'll tell you right now. I get out of work at 5 o'clock. I'm here till 2 a.m. I get up at 7. I go back to work. I get back to my desk. It got to the point where I hired an assistant, and my assistant said to me, Arif, delegate your shit. Yeah. And she was right. And as we grow this thing, and, you know, I was out meeting guests and doing shit this weekend at Fan Expo, you know, it really made sense why she said that to me. And, you know, I had a couple people out, and I'll tell you right now, when they were out, I was disorganized. And I'm getting to a point here. The point I'm getting to is how do you run a show without ample? And I'm going to go around here. So, Kindchen, lead us off. How do you write, produce, and run a show without ample staff, without ample
greed?
Yeah. Well, greed. Yeah. Besides greed, without ample.
No. Well, I have to answer with the absurdity before you get to the realness of it. It's greed. It's like, well, the stuff I saw online from AI looks good. The songs they made, yeah, but you're talking about something that goes on and on. Remember the joke from Futurama? Like, there's that character that's an actor. It's like, and he's a robot.
Calculon.
Yeah, and he's winning Oscars and stuff. And it's like, no, that's why we're scared.
Yeah, Calculon was always a troll on Skynet and AI.
Yeah, so it's like we're scared because of that. And then if you do, you know, the humanoid androids, then it's like, okay, so you scan this guy. Let's say extras make $170 for a day, right? So you scan this guy for $200. Maybe you give him a bump. So for $250, and then you decide to scan him onto your humanoid android that's walking around in the parts, as well as maybe you have enough of a catalog of the volume that you've been using for video games where nobody else needs to come in anymore. You can just put the faces on top of these CGI created people and make it work. That sucks, bro. Like, the same thing for doctors. Like, I don't mind robots being used, but I need a doctor being there controlling the robot.
Given what I've been through, I agree, and I
don't want it. I don't want it autonomous. I don't want autonomous in my mouth. I don't want autonomous on my car. I joked with another voice actor, Heath Martin, over the weekend. Like, where's the old guy with the Newport with the ash that is as long as a cigarette and it never falls? You throw him 2 beers and like a couple of hundred in your car.
And his name is Jerry. Yeah, what's wrong with your car? It's your catalytic converter? Yeah. All right, I'll fix it.
Okay.
But Kindchen, getting to the actual point of this, the problem, you're right, is greed. Bob Iger makes 75 grand a day. That's what I make a year. That's shit. But let's look at it. Let's look at it from the other side. You and I have both been indoctrinated into this world. I've done far less than you have. I've done 3 or 4 commercials and 3 or 4 small games, but still, it's the fact that I did it.
It's still that you got it. You got it on your belt.
I'll tell you, I did one of those games for a plate of turkey tips because it was a friend and I appreciated him. Stevie, you are trying to break into this industry. Let's dive into your story for a second here. Let's talk about your journey and how you got to the idea of wanting to voice act. Let's really dive into it and meld this into what we're talking about.
Well, it's kind of funny. I actually never thought. I mean, I can't say I've never thought about voice acting. For me, it was Rhode Island Comic Con this year. Somehow my video showed up on Michael Yurchak's feed on TikTok. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, I'm talking to him at Rhode Island Comic Con because he was a guest this past year. And lo and behold, he's like, you should try voice acting. And I'm like, yeah. I don't think I'm at that level. But, it's kind of funny. It's he was kind of just like, not pushing me hard, but he's like, you really should try it. You might have something there. And he's like, we exchanged phone numbers. He's like, you can text me anytime you want to. Be more than happy to help you out. And then now I'm friends with Mark Kidwalk Britton. He's doing the same thing with me, 7 voices on Dragon Ball Z, yeah. So now I got him in my corner. So between Michael Yurchak and Kidwalk Britton, it's kind of interesting. But I want to get to 2 things real quickly. Number one, Arif must have been amazing to just run on-screen lines with James Avery.
Man, I didn't even realize how special it was until it was too late, because I was a kid.
Yeah,
but it was very special, very special.
Yeah, we had a heartfelt conversation about him.
The man taught me how to spend money too.
He's that was a good conversation, by the way. May I add? We can have a James Avery episode anytime you want.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
But the other thing I want to get to is the naivety of me. So I fall into that trap where I see actors and actresses on TV, and it's like, oh, they're in Hollywood. It must be so grand. It must be so awesome. The lives they must live. And then I became friends with Chris Bartlett.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was texting him, and he goes, "Hey man, I just want to let you know that if I don't respond right away, it's not you. I'm working on a resume because we need additional jobs." And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, does that mean if I'm going to go to, Simi Valley, California, I'm going to go to Starbucks, I'm going to hear C-3PO through the drive-through line?
You might.
Sadly.
And no, I mean, he's in the, video game graphic design industry. So that's not going to happen. But I'm just, I got lightly joked with him about it. He's like, no. He's like, unfortunately, we don't make what you think we make. He's like, we do need to supplement.
That's why these guys do conventions. That's why these guys
do all this
stuff. Yeah.
But what's sad is that Chris Bartlett is the second most credited actor in the Mandalorian series.
Yeah, he did a lot of stuff in him and Dominic Pace, who was supposed to be our guest tonight until we moved episodes. Him and Pace did a lot of work.
Yeah, and it's without making people get scared and want to throw their acting to the wind, it's rough. It was way more glamorous with Elizabeth Taylor and all of them. I say the golden age really was the 70s, when the union had something to say. The money was good because of television and the advertisements. The 90s, because of Friends, that's when the money got great. The Life was the most phenomenal right when it transferred over to being spoken on film. I think that was the most glamorous and greatest. but the 90s because of Friends, anything on ABC, NBC, or CBS, those guys, man.
Townsend was talking about that last episode. He was talking about Must-See TV.
Millionaires, bro. Millionaires.
Yeah. Must-See TV was a huge thing.
Yeah, man. Like even Fox, WB, and UPN, you could be 100,000-aire and live a great freaking life. I'm talking about BMWs, Mercedes, not summer homes. NBC and them, that was summer homes. You know what I'm saying? But you could have some good stuff going on in your life. Put a kid through college with those network kind of checks. But as of late, because of the way they've restructured things, and like I heard a deal around 2005 that was something to the tune of, we're going to pay you this amount, which I consider to be like a 92 rate in 2005 for the first 9 episodes, and then we'll give you the money that we're going to pay you, the 13. We'll give you whatever that was minus what we paid you to pay you back for those 9 if we get picked up for this next 6 episodes.
So wait a minute,
I think it was like 15.
They do it kind of like the music industry does it, where you have to turn around and pay it back.
Well, no. Okay, so yeah, no. So let me give you a number. Let's say if you're supposed to get 17,000 because you've been busting your butt and you got 4 TV shows under your belt, right? So you're supposed to make 17 grand a week. So in 2005, I heard a deal for a friend that was like, we're going to pay you 9, and then we'll give you the other 8 once we get past the 9th episode for the next 5 episodes. And we'll give you that, we'll give you full 17, but we'll give you that 8 that we didn't pay you for the first 9 as a lump, because now the show is trusted. But we need to save money on this top end. And people were taking those deals. It was part of what I call the Atlanta conundrum. Once Atlanta got involved, in terms of comedy, you were filming 4 episodes a week. I want you to hear what I'm saying. I used to do extra work on Family Matters. You went in on Wednesday because they had a table read on Monday. They walked it on Tuesday. Wednesday, the extras came in. The next day, the full group of extras came in, and Friday was tape night. That's an actor's week. But now, the Atlanta method became, you do a table read, you get through all of them, and you walk and shoot. The worst performance I've ever done on screen was on a great man's TV show, Bentley Evans. Freaking great. It was called Something Cuts, I believe. I can look it up while we talk. With Dorian Wilson and Ken Lawson. Dorian Wilson came from Dream On, and then the Parkers. Kennel came from In the House and the Parkers. And yo, man, I couldn't keep up. I couldn't freaking keep up. I thought I had like, oh, okay, we'll take it. If it sucks, then I'll do it like 2-3 more times. By the time I was ready to shoot my load, they had moved on to the next shot.
Damn.
I was like, yo, I can't. Okay. Because I was finding my footing. So with the whole thing with acting and coming out to LA, I think a person should come out here with whatever your rent is, whatever your expenditures are, have that for the first 6 months and a job lined up that can be your funny money and possible lean on money.
Yeah.
If after a year it doesn't pop, go to Nashville or Atlanta and run the same thing. That doesn't pop, go home, regroup, and then come back at it and start doing like self tapes on everything, voiceover or on camera, because California itself is rough, man. It's rough. It's rough for people who, I've lived here my whole life. If I didn't live here my whole life, I can't imagine I could cope with what California is to everyone that comes through our doors now. It's weird.
Yeah, you've had a little bit of a head start, so.
So it's like, I grew up here, but everybody, there's a guy, I think I posted it. There's this cool guy that has worked on everything. This mofo has kept his job at Dunkin' Donuts, which is probably the smartest thing on the planet. It's almost like what do you call it? Like the reserves, like National Guard. Like, yo, even if you just get 2 weeks of your year, at least you still got the benefits and the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, like if we're doing voiceover and everything, like, okay, I remember one year 2008, when the world got lean. I was like, let me try out for UPS. I'll work overnights. I can, get up, take my kids to school, do auditions, catch some sleep, get up, go to the job, and do it all again. And that'll be hella easy. But it's like 4 hours at UPS or FedEx for loading the trucks and stuff. Dude, I couldn't get hired to save my life because the one bad thing is, how much did you make at your previous job? Okay, listen, I know what it sounds like, but I was doing this other thing. I never sold coke, but I really did make this amount. You're overqualified. So my money makes me overqualified? Or you just hate the fact that I ever made this money in my life? I haven't made this money for like about a decade, but you said go back 5 jobs, and I'm trying to be as honest as I can. So that's a weird thing. But I think anybody that wants to do this should come out. If you got a family member, you can spend the night, like, for like 2-3 months. That's probably the best way. Throw somebody like a grand or $2,000 where you can sleep in that guest room or on the couch and just try to hit it as hard as you can. I know a lot of people that have done that. But okay, here goes a true life story. My nephew does commercials. This isn't voiceover, but he does commercials. My brother used to drive down from Berkeley to take him to auditions. I used to be like, are you crazy? They would leave like 6 o'clock in the morning, drive down from Berkeley. For those that don't realize, California is a very long state. Like, you say like, oh, I'm in Cali. Why don't you come visit me? I'm in San Francisco. Because I live in San Diego.
6
I'm
hours.
not coming to see you.
That's 8 hours.
No, that's 10 hours. San Diego to San Francisco is 10, and that's you hauling.
Smalls, that's a regular day for you, driving to Michigan and back.
You know what? You're right.
Well,
but it's way out. And I've met people on set that bring their kids from San Jose, from San Diego to Hollywood. And I'm talking extra work, bro. For that $200, they're driving their kid down 2-3 times a week.
There's your fucking gas. It's $5.75 a gallon in Cali.
Bro, the truth. Oh, the show is called Always in the Cut. It comes on Bounce TV, which was founded by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s son.
Hey, that's cool.
It's a public channel. It's a public channel.
That's fucking rad. Hey, listen, cool to see that legacy continuing, plain and simple.
Yeah.
But
what was it? I was just talking to Kid Walk. I was talking to Kid Walk the other day, and he's like, don't go to California. For the love of Jesus, don't go to California. He's like, go to Texas. He's like, it may sound weird, but Texas and the voice acting community.
Oh, man.
He's like, you don't even have to live in Texas. He's like, just do your demo, do your auditions, and then if you get a job, fly out, do the job, come back.
Yeah.
I will tell you a true story. I know a man that serves in our military. I can't say his name because I don't want to get him in trouble. A man that serves in our military that has gone to a couple of cons, booked a couple of jobs through some contests, and he's about to get stationed in Texas so that he can do that.
Nice.
I mean, this dude's a genius if you think about it. They're gonna pay for his dream because once you do your job so long in the military, it's a job. So once you get off, you just drive off base, go do what you're gonna do in town, come back, check back in, and keep going.
Yep.
I mean, I think Smalls, you'd agree with this too. The more we interview folks from this line of work, Hollywood and those who have lived through stuff like Townsend really opened things up last time. I think it's amazing to see, from our view as podcasters, as radio broadcasters, like for me being a broadcast major, man, you always thought growing up people in Hollywood had no problems. Like they didn't have diseases, they didn't have money problems and everything like that. And then
God, no.
Now you see it, and I mean, we were talking about it earlier, like the amount of options there are and choices. Like I've disassociated myself purposely from a lot of things because of the amount of toxicity that's out there and the amount of content that's out there. I want to live in the little bubble that I had when 4, 5, and 7 was a thing. I want to wake up on Saturday mornings and watch WWF Superstars and Wrestling Challenge, and then watch a VHS and Ninja Turtles. I want to believe that Hollywood is a glamorous place, and you know all these famous people are doing cocaine and hookers during the day, but I know it's not true anymore. You know, my first and I'm not going to name names, but I used to date somebody in the porn industry. She has since left. When we met, she was out of porn.
Lisa Ann? Oh my God.
No, I'm not Young Gravy. I'm sorry. I don't have that kind of privy.
Lisa Rinna, but you know.
No, somebody that wasn't super known. She was known, but she wasn't known. But she had left porn to do makeup. And if you know, and I know we have some friends, so you probably know this person if you think about it. But we went out a couple times, and I met her at the Sugar Gaming Party, the Sugar DVD Gaming Party at PAX one year. Yeah. And this was a long time before I met my wife. And I remember we were having dinner one night, and she goes, "You haven't asked me one thing about what I used to do." I'm like, "Yeah, it's who you were, not who you are." And she says to me, she goes, "Well, you know, I'd like to get it off my chest if you don't mind." I'm like, "Sure, I'll listen. I'm happy to listen." And you think porn stars make a lot of money because you see Lena Paul driving a 7 Series Benz, and that's because Lena Paul says no to nothing, and she's shooting 3 to 6 times a week. That girl is on set a lot. But what I learned from the experience of just having dinner with this person was porn is a lot more expensive than you think. Like, because of STD tests and agent fees and, you know, contraceptive and so forth like that. Like a 90-minute shoot could be $1,500, and after everything, it's $750. And, you know, I mean, it's frightening. Like, you know, these people are literally putting their sexual well-being on the line. So, you know, you in the comfort of your home can steal it through a website, or you can subscribe to Brazzers Premium and you know, leave a fucking nut stain on your ceiling, Joe. But oh wow, Stevie didn't even laugh at that one. I made fun of his cousin. We talk about porn. We talk about porn, and John Brown gets really mad about it, actually, which is really funny. But you think about it. You have the ability to watch two people go in the essence of your home. And you know you get to hear two steaks slapping together. Yeah. My! You have to remember, herpes and syphilis are a thing.
What are your analogies?
I don't fucking know. But what I'm getting at is the amazing. Thank you, Stevie. Stevie Oaks, ladies and gentlemen. But the thing about it is you.
Hello there.
You realize that this is not as glamorous as it looks, in that actors are just people like us trying to, you know, get through their life. Like, you realize that people that are on set and they're like, okay, I have to do a double penetration scene today, a boy scene tomorrow, and a boy girl boy girl upside down rainbow scene tomorrow. And you know, you realize what they have to do to separate their profession from their personal life, and how much it affects their personal life and how much it affects their financial well-being. Like, these are things that we as consumers of content in general don't think about. Like, nobody thinks about what Smalls and I have to go through in the arguments we have when we write a podcast. Not that we make much money on this, but the simple fact is nobody thinks about what we as creators go through, because you never understand it until you're doing it. Like, I make content daily, like, because I want my content to be seen. I want this to be my day job. I want all of my friends to be taken care of and well paid and happy. And that's what we're trying to do. And, you know, it's just really disgusting to see the greed out there. Now, we talked about this earlier. Excuse me.
I just want to go off your sentiment here real quick, Billy, before you move on.
No, fire away, bro.
No, I get it. Like, well said. You're trying to do everything you can to, you know, make this your career.
Aren't you?
I'm working.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm working harder than an ugly stripper right now. I've done 5 conventions this year, and tons of networking, and I still feel like I haven't moved the needle.
Bro, I said this off camera to Smalls about you earlier. The growth pattern I've seen from you personally and professionally in the last year has been tremendous. So don't think for a minute that you have not moved the needle. That is a fucking lie.
It's
And
slowly
mean
but
that.
surely.
I'm not saying that as your friend right now. I'm saying that as a professional colleague. You have moved the needle, my friend. But I want to get into a piece of this because this discussion is keeping everybody's attention, and we're already 30 minutes over. As per usual here at A Bunch of Nerds, we go over all the time. And we, like the interesting thing about this is that this is a topic that affects everyone. It affects consumers, it affects creators, it affects everyone. Now, the loss of profit here for a company like Disney or Netflix is 1% to 2% of that that few billion that they make a day.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Season 3 of Mandalorian, from what I've read, was about 15 million per episode.
That's disgusting.
You can pay your people.
Yeah, if you can spend 15 million on a show, you can pay for a writer's room. Now, let's bring this full circle. I want everybody, Smalls, I haven't heard much out of you in the last 20 minutes, so I want to add you into this conversation because music is a big part of this too.
I have nothing really to say on the whole, like.
No, you do, because musicians and so forth like that are a big piece of this.
No, I'm just saying, like, in the last 20 to 30 minutes, I've been sitting here just absorbing everything because
but I want to bring you
voice acting and shit like that, like, I have nothing to speak on that end.
Let's like really well, I mean, it affects you because you do watch Disney Plus with your kid. You consume certain content. You may not consume certain content the way we do. John just made a good point in the chat how musicians had our chance to rewrite the business during Napster and really just kind of missed the ball on that. I agree. Musicians really dropped the ball on that one. They were overpowered by the industry. Sean Fanning, who I grew up with, may I add, gave an opportunity for people. Napster was an opportunity to seek financial freedom, and you could have put your music on there and had a paid platform, but it didn't happen that way. But that's another story for another day. We can do a whole episode on that too. But so musicians are hurting. Your under crew is hurting. Your lower third actors are hurting. Your extras are hurting. Your voice actors are hurting. People are losing their houses over this. Like I personally have a friend who's in foreclosure right now, and I'm heartbroken. Like I make shit money, and like I pay for everything I unbox out of my own pocket. Like.
Yeah.
Let me bring you back to I Sell Toys for Fun. They could offer me free figures. I would never take it because I know they're a small business located in California trying to get off the ground, and I don't want handouts. We're too proud for handouts here. We're not influencers. We are not influencers. We will never be influencers. We do not want to be influencers. I broke up with everybody that sponsored me when that term came about me. I was like, no. I'm the generalissimo of A Bunch of Nerds. I am not an influencer. I'm just an idiot who has a microphone who talks a lot of shit. And I have friends who respect and support me and love me. And damn it, I want to make sure that they fucking have something amazing that they are fucking drawn to and love as much as I do. And damn it, I want them to succeed. That is the only fucking thing I am doing this for. I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this because it started out as something to leave a legacy for my kid when my kid didn't know who I was. And it spiraled into this wild nonsense with all these amazing... Well, you and I knew each other long before this when I was just a journalist, but it spiraled into everything else that has become 20 years later. Here I am, 41 years old, still at this, still loving this the way I used to. And every day, like, I'm going off track here. I'm mind blown.
You influenced me to eat more chicken wings.
Hey, can I be a wingfluencer? That would be a good thing. I'm cool with that.
Now that is something I would sign up for. Are they paying in drums or flats?
Doesn't matter. Just put them in my mouth.
Just shut up and put them in my mouth, pal. Next time you're in Boston, I got a wing place. I'll take you out to dinner.
Hey man, I'm telling you, I got to get out there.
Come on back. Let's go. I'll meet even better. I'll meet you in New York City. We'll run over to Queens and grab
No. I gotta go out to you because I totally missed the ball with the Boston Red Sox, man. When I did the cartoon with them,
yeah,
I got invited to the premiere, but it was like, to me, it's always the, hey, if you can get yourself out here, and it's like I had an acting teacher that taught me to keep a credit card with $1,000 because sometimes it's worth more to just fly yourself. But I'm so California cocky. I'm like, no. Send me a flight, not Spirit, Nope.
Yeah, fuck Spirit. No, Spirit's an insult.
If you send me Southwest where I can kind of jump ahead, I want to do that. I'll do that.
Southwest is not bad. I get front row every time.
Snoop flies Southwest. I'm good.
Snoop is a humble dude.
I'm flying out to Colorado in 2-ish weeks, just over 2 weeks for a convention. I'm paying for my own flight. I'm paying for my own hotel.
So let's
get at least you have the chance of making some dough. At least
exactly. You have the opportunity to make some money. So let's get back to this. And we're speaking from multiple different perspectives here. Voice actor, content creator, podcasting idiots. Let's really hone in on this and wrap this up because I'm sure everybody in the chat wants to go to bed too because it's 11 o'clock on the East Coast almost. But let's really dive into the end of this topic. How do we fix Hollywood? Where do we start? And Kindchen, I'm going to start with you. Like let's book this top down. Let's start from management all the way down.
Well, let's just get the elephant in the room out. The quote I saw. The quote, no, stay in the what the hell? God dang, the self-deprecation is amazing.
We all shit on ourselves all the time.
The only elephant I know that's ever been in the room is the Elephant Man. I am here, man.
That's not the only reason they call me the Elephant Man.
Never.
Wrong website.
I think I downloaded the wrong Cleveland show.
Are you looking for girls?
No.
Shazam!
Giggling.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Oh yeah. Okay, get in here, Lois.
Yes, son. That's gotta go on the Only Hams website.
Yeah, it's on our Only Hams. Onlyhams.com/a bunch of hams.
With honey glazed Sundays.
Honey glazed Sundays with smalls.
The quote was 2% of the executives' fees could end the strike. 2%.
So Bob Iger makes $75,000 a day.
So 2% of that,
what is
and then
2% of $75,000?
Million.
Alexa, shut up. So that's like $2,700 a day he'd have to forfeit.
No. Of his 25 million.
Yeah, but that's that breaks down to $2,700 a day.
Yeah, okay.
So you take $2,700 a day.
So and you do that for everybody. So like whatever their rate is, 100 million, 200 million, 80 million, 50 million, whatever.
That's $140,000 out of Bob Iger's pocket.
Yeah, out of those guys collective, that has to be his gardening fees. That can't be anything else but like gardening fees for that guy.
So let's hypothetically call it $1 billion.
So you're trying to say his prunes are not getting prunier?
Let's just call it hypothetically $2 billion total.
Yeah, so let's say if it's $2 billion, so that 2% of that, and so it doesn't affect these guys in the long run. It doesn't hurt them. It's just a couple of pair less of Jordans, or a little bit money that's less for their sugar mama, or for their baby.
Man, don't blow them up.
Jordans are overrated anyways.
Yeah, so it's like that could end it. And then with the investment, these people are publicly traded. That's what I was talking about earlier in terms of Bob Iger. He's kind of like the wonder kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I liked him before. I hate what he said, but I mean the kid knew how to get some things going. He's just basically reworking what he's done before until somebody else comes that is the new him. You know, like theoretically until we can get the Kevin Feige of finance and running a park, we're going to be stuck with Iger or whoever is the people that come off of his teeth. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're going to always get somebody. So whatever with that. But in terms of the whole AMTP, it's just like we said before, there's so much on TV that it's so hard to run a financial, fiscal audible at any time. So I think if they just really create a scenario where they pay people fairly, and maybe, and I say this as a proud union member, give us a fair share and just tell us we got to hold for 10 years. We're supposed to do it every 3 years. If you play hardball with us, but you're paying us fairly, it's kind of like my mother gets mad about this. I give my nephew $50 every time he goes to do anything at my mother's house, whether it's to change a light bulb or to use the ring, because my nephew has a car and gas is expensive. He's taking time out of his day to help my mom out. And she's like, it used to just be give a guy $10. I said, yeah, when I was 10, when I was 20,
but
I'm
Kindchen,
50.
$5 in gas, $50 in gas now is a quarter tank out there.
Exactly.
What's gas now? You're outside LA, right?
Yeah. So 415.
415.
So why would I not give a grown man $50 to leave his house?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or a grown woman, however you want to phrase it. But you got to pay people something that's fair. So if they want 2%, give them 3%, and then you don't got to talk to us for like 5-10 years because everything's fair. And you got to get Friday, you got to get your guy off of our board for our medical, because what I know for a fact is when I came into this union, I came in with, if you made 5,000, you got medical. Like maybe you couldn't get cosmetic surgery, but if I broke my arm, I could take my ass to the hospital and never have to think about it. Now we're paying a rate that is fair. It's an American rate. It's fair, but you got to earn 26 to get it. And guess who makes those decisions? The guy or the gal that we're arguing against in this right now, the AMTP, that same person is the lead board member of our medical plan. I want you to think about how that's weird.
That's fucked up.
That's like you hate your stepdad, but he's your boss, and he's also the loan officer at your bank.
That's shitty.
Could you imagine that? Like,
Yo,
I want people at home to really look at that. Your stepdad that you hate is your boss, and he's also on the side the loan officer at your credit union.
So basically, you're never getting a good rate, and you're grounded.
And you're never leaving the house, and you're gonna have to take his crap, and he's gonna always tax you. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, he's gonna always tax you. Mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Care should just be a universal right, but
healthcare should be a universal right. I agree.
I thought so too.
Though, unfortunately,
I still don't. We always make the joke. Who the hell is FICA? Who's that? I never dated them. I never went on a date, not one.
Yeah, and maybe again the naivety of me. Okay, so we all say that writing, and I'm not throwing shit at writers at all, but lately writing's been kind of weird with series, especially with ends of shows and things like that. And it's one of those things that maybe if these people had if they had less things to worry about, maybe they would come up with better material.
All right, two things. Book of Boba Fett was just a Mandalorian side piece, and that was terrible to Boba Fett. Secret Invasion blows, and there's way too much. As much as I love Marvel, I know I'm wearing a Marvel t-shirt. There is way too fucking much Marvel and Star Wars. I think the problem
here is
too much
fan service. It's too much fan service.
They're sucking our dicks, plain and simple, 24 hours a day. I'm gonna make a joke from Mutant Mayhem. I apologize for those of you who haven't seen it, but we're getting milked by TCRI.
Yeah,
we're getting milked.
Yeah. But you know what? Fan service isn't all that bad because
fan service is terrible because we have way too much of it right now. Like. If we went back to the days
season 3 gave me the ultimate fan service and I could die happy.
Yeah, but think about it like this. Remember when Batman the Animated Series was the only thing going?
I do not.
Okay, 1994 was Batman the Animated Series and Spider-Man the Animated Series, and that was it. Marvel Action Hour sucked. Fantastic Four blew. Iron Man blew.
Yeah, but I had Captain Planet and Power Rangers.
Power Rangers was a different thing. Like, not everybody was into Power Rangers.
But look at fan service created VR Troopers. Those actors are amazing. VR Troopers was horrible. I auditioned for the show.
I loved VR Troopers.
It was horrible. Well, I mean, compared to Power Rangers.
Well, we had Big
Bad. But
Jason David Frank's got to start on VR Troopers, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
We had Big Bad Beetleborgs too, which was terrible but awesome. We also had the Masked Rider, which was the American version of Kamen Rider. But that wasn't.
The thing is, there was nothing else on TV. Like Siegfried, the Sigmund, the sea monster was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But when you look back at it, you're like, what?
But you remember back in the day, you either watched ABC, NBC, or Fox on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had those 3 options. Now you can watch literally everything plus Vice TV, and it's like, well, there's just too much. There's too many options. And I watch like, truthfully, I watch like 6 shows, and the rest is like shit that I watched when I was younger. Like I have King of the Hill on repeat.
Oh yeah.
Hey Joe, no one cares about Iron Man in the 90s.
He had long hair. He had a mullet. We were scared.
I am Iron Man. No, that sucked.
But you watched it because it was Marvel.
I didn't watch Iron Man. I went outside when that show came on.
Well, even 2099, like 2099 is so much better in the Spider-Verse than it was on TV.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2099 was the only thing out of 2099 that worked, unfortunately. I mean, there was a Spider-Man that I really loved that never came to the States, too.
Oh, man. There it is.
At the end of the day, as a consumer, if it means everybody getting their fair shake, I'm okay with paying more money for my streaming services.
Yeah, but
I mean, not an outlandish amount more, but I'll pay more.
That's where the problem comes in, too. Streaming has created an abundance of content. Like, my wife, Rebecca, if you're watching, I'm sorry. My wife is a slave to Netflix. And she is a slave to
recommendation?
She is a slave to every show that is some woke topic or life or reality. She's watched every Love is Blind.
Oh my.
And it's like, I can't watch this shit. Like, I sit down and watch like 5 minutes of it because she's watching it, and I'm like, well, it's my wife, so I'm gonna pay attention to it because she enjoys it. But for me, it's like when Mando was on, Mando was cool. I watched Miss Marvel. Like, my regular rotation right now, like now that there's nothing on that I really care to watch, Dark Side of the Ring ended yesterday. For me, my regular rotation when there's not a show on I'm interested in, shows I've already watched like 1,000 times. Kansas City Chiefs football. Movies.
You really love the
weekly wrestling, and that's what I watch. That's it. Those are the 4 things I watch. I'm very old school in that sense that I don't give a shit about watching the news. I went to school for news, and we talked about this last time. Deadspin. Breaking news tonight is there's a cat stuck in a tree that's on fire. I don't want to hear that. Like, that just that kind of shit ruins my brain. And it's like, I don't want to think negatively during the day. I don't want to hear about how Donald Trump attacked this person and Joe Biden's an idiot and the woke mob did this and the right.
You want to know the dopest thing about the news, if you really pay attention and if you're good with your remote, if you change the channel to your top 3 local stations, every story comes on right after the other one. So if it's Donald Trump on channel 2, then channel 4 will pick the story up right when you leave from the Donald Trump story on channel 2. And then channel 7 will do the same. And it's like, wait a minute. It's like a mixtape. It's like one big old scratch together mixtape with a couple of different words, but the same song.
My Twitter feed that I never pay attention to is where I get my news. Like, I look at trending topics. Like, I want to know about
or HKN.
Yeah,
I would say HKN is probably one of the best news networks on the planet.
But the problem I have with news networks is, Arif, no matter who it is, and this is going to sound very political, and this is going to sound
tell the truth.
This is going to sound very right wing. Every one of them has an agenda.
Yeah.
And as someone who doesn't claim a political party, someone who votes with my heart, not my wallet, and someone who votes for the rights of people, the protection of laws, and the betterment of society, it hurts my heart to see racial tension, Donald Trump, and the same dumb shit every fucking day. Like that thing that just happened in Alabama. I didn't read anything about it. The memes are how I learned about it.
Yeah.
Like the South will rise again. Yeah, the South is going to rise again by hitting each other with chairs. You fucking idiots.
Yeah.
But the point I'm getting at is I would rather I have enough problems. Cancer was one of them. Diabetes is another one of them. Making not enough money is another one of them. But the fact of the matter is, when I sit down on the couch, my back hurts, my hip hurts, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I've done this show and I want to sit down and wait for my edibles to kick in. I want to be entertained. I want to support my friends who are in the industry. I'm going to go and watch Praise Petey. I downloaded Freeform so I could watch it. I've been meaning to watch it, and someone in the chat earlier said Praise Petey was really fun, so I'm really excited.
And it was
to check
by a woman that was part of the SNL writer room.
That all in itself is great. See, and that's another thing. Like, I can watch SNL and laugh my ass off about the news. Like, I would prefer that. Lorne Michaels has entertained me since I was 6. 34
You
years
know what?
that man has entertained me.
Before the strike, every Saturday, no matter what, 12 o'clock, we're watching Weekend Update. We may not even watch the show, but we're watching Weekend Update. But we're going to get some jokes and learn about some stuff we didn't even know what was happening.
SNL
yeah, by the way, I
is
hate
the greatest
calling you,
comedy.
Joe.
I hate him because he's married to my future ex-wife, but
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
All right, but let's bring this conversation full circle so we can bring everybody in on it and just not you and me. Let's get back to it. How do we fix Hollywood besides that 1% to 2% profit? Smalls, from the musician's point of view, where do we start with that end? We know musicians had the opportunity with Napster. It was missed. You're speaking as a creative individual who could let's just say you're working in Hollywood. You're a photographer. You're doing headshots for shows. You're doing promo shots. You're doing background music and stuff like that. And you're independently contracted. What would make sense to you as a professional and a performer to make for the betterment of all, where actors and writers are happy and professionals that are producing and creating are happy?
It's a good question.
I know.
You're a good question.
I would say, I mean, I've always been a believer in the expression "it takes a village to raise a insert whatever here."
Everything. A child, to beat cancer, to create a show. This podcast takes a village. I mean, note the reoccurring guest.
And you are the rogue sheriff that plays by his own rules.
I try not to.
I know, but I am a firm believer in that if I was into that type of situation, let the talent have some sort of input on what is going to be happening on camera, on screen, on film. Don't have them just be like, all right, cool, you're basically paid to do what I tell you to do. Let them have some input, like, it makes it easier. It makes, and to bring it back to the music thing, because I know dick about shit when it comes to Hollywood stuff. But if we're talking music, if we're talking music, because that I can speak on, let the artist have actual creative control. And it's not a whole, like, let me have my masters kind of thing. It's, let me make the music that I want to make. I understand that, we could be, a certain type of band and make a certain kind of music. But if I want to try something different, let me make that music. It's what I want to do. It's what I'm going to be happy to make. And that's going to show on when it's recorded and sold. And it's going to sell more to make you, the people that are signing off on my checks, more money, which makes more promotion, more advertising dollars, more revenue for everyone, and the whole cycle repeats itself. Let the people that are the ones that are pushing the product have some input on the fucking product.
I agree with that statement. Also, I want to note the chat here for a second. Joe, thank you for the kind words. Stay tuned. We do some wild shit around here, man. We work really fucking hard on this. And that's not just me. Like, Smalls calls me the road sheriff or the rogue sheriff or whatever what he just said. But, the fact of the matter is I do 96% of my own stuff. But at the same time, there's a lot of input. And this team is going to have a lot more grip and a lot more say in a lot of things. I had a amazing conversation with these guys along the lines of this, of how do we make a bunch of nerds better? How do we make everything work more? And just a side note, we haven't officially announced this yet, but we're bringing Stevie in for more content too. So Stevie's going to be a part of the A Bunch of Nerds crew. Officially. Like, we've done stuff with him so much in the past. It's gotten to a point where we're like, dude, you just need to join the team because we've been working with you right along anyway. And we fucking love Steve. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. But to get back to it, I agree with you. Creative control is something that needs to be had. Hence, and we have a methodology around here. Just you and I talking here for a minute as business owner and business owner, as co-owners, we give our guys a lot of creative control. And I think the creative control we've given our team has worked very well. And it's created a culture of accountability it's created a culture of a true open door policy. And it's created a methodology that allows everybody to approach me or you and say, hey, I think this would work better. And we're continuing working on that. And I think that's a good example of, where we could change with Hollywood. I think that, and, I think, to really hone in on what Arif was saying. Hey, since you're ordering dinner, Arif, can I get a large buffalo fingers, no French fries with a side salad? But he posted something in the Zoom chat about that.
Oh, I saw.
But I think the idea here is to really create a proponent of change. You have to be willing to change, and you have to be willing to listen. And I think that's what one of the biggest problems with Hollywood right now is that 100 days is a long time to not work, or to be working 3 or 4 jobs. And, just for the bare necessities of life, given California costs triple what you and I, quadruple what you pay, triple what I pay.
Let me chime in. 100 days when this was your passion project, not even what you were able to do for your actual living.
Yeah.
Think that's the part. It's like, 100 days for a guy that is doing this, and he had the spare job like we were talking about, and the 6 months. That's why that line from that executive that Ron Perlman was about to lose his crap over means so much. Not Ron. Yeah, Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman,
when the guy was like, we're just going to wait them out. Wait till they lose their houses and their apartments. What kind of savage crap is that, bro? We're just playing Monopoly. This ain't real. Or you want to go real now. And the worst thing about an actor, a journeyman, or a writer, every single one of us had a real quote unquote job before we got to where we're at.
Yeah.
We know how to do that job. It's not what we want to do, but we know how to go get some money to pay a bill.
Yeah.
But it's not what we want. And the only problem in California is there's 5 million jobs and only 4 million of them are held. But no one tells you that other million jobs are just so, I think they're more like padding to the job slate than actual jobs that people can or want to do.
And what's really sad is you get some guy who moves here from Mexico or from Brazil who just wants to help his family, and
then guess what we do?
Then
we make them feel like they're criminals, and we make them go into hiding.
And that's a pathetic way to that's a pathetic way to handle things, because you know what? I'll tell you right now, every time I run into somebody who can barely speak English, I always try to say thank you and I understand.
Always.
And at my day job, man, like I'll tell you right now, I'm in a customer service job because of my cancer diagnosis. When it happened, I need to be able to work from home. I'll tell you right now, I probably make 10, 15 grand less than I should, and I supplement with a lot of things on the side. You shouldn't, when you're entertaining the world, you shouldn't have to supplement your income by driving Lyft or Uber or working at McDonald's. And for that matter, if you're coming here from another country, you should have every right to create, live, and thrive the way we all do. Whatever happened to the old additive of give me your sick, give me your poor, went out the window when money.
You're tired, you're tempered, and you're poor.
When money's involved, it goes out the window, sadly. And I say it every day. And guys, I will say this again. I've said this to my staff. When this company turns a profit, I will only take like $100 grand salary at max, because I would rather my staff be able to eat, have their lights on, take their kids to whatever they want. I don't need to be rich. I don't want to be rich. I'll make
you very wealthy.
I will make extra money my own way.
I'll be right back.
Do your thing. Go back. Hey, did you get my dinner order?
I'll take 6,000 chicken vaginas, please.
But getting back to it, Small's excellent point. Excellent fucking point. Stevie Oaks, speaking from someone as a budding creator who is trying to work his way potentially into something like that, who's been in every one of these episodes asking people questions, who's been really on, and I say this as your friend now, you've been very passionate about this. Like, I see you in our chat every time we have a guest talking, asking questions, and being the first one with a question, and I appreciate that. Your tenacity is noticed. Looking from the outside, so you being here and wanting to get here, what would you like to see change? I know this is a tough one, but take your time.
Yeah, the AI. I mean, I could show up for a job and get paid that one day, but now they have a scan of me and they can use me for the rest of the movie with only paying me for that one day, and that's utter bullshit.
I mean, I will add that AI is good for some things, but not good for others. Like, I mean, I honestly, personally think Black Panther 2 should have been canceled when Chadwick died. I think it should have been left with the first movie, and that's it. I still, to this day, and this is partially because of my emotional attachment to Chadwick Boseman due to our similar diagnosis, both being colon cancer, fighting colon cancer. He fought that disease so valiantly, but I think out of respect for him, it never should have been published. And it was just the show must go on mentality, first of all. Doesn't make sense, but in situations like that where they added him in via AI in certain areas, I understand. And that's one thing. But if you're being used for AI, and, a lot of us, Joe, to your point, fight this silently. I went to work every day, figured out how to work 40 hours in 3 days sometimes so I could go to chemo. By the way, for those of you who are keeping track, report comes out next Monday.
Congrats.
Thank you. I'm in remission, which is the good news. I found out in June. But if AI is going to be a part of the scenario going forward, there needs to be some sort of there needs to be, first of all, litigation throughout government of the abilities of AI. Secondly, there needs to be some sort of just there needs to be some thin white line with AI.
There is. It's on a mirror in the executive's office.
No, but yeah, they're using that old. There needs to be a cause, but also a clause for AI. Joe just took the words out of my mouth. There needs to be the ability to, if you're going to use me for scans in a movie, you need to pay me residuals. I want 20% per episode of what I'm making if you're going to use me. If not, you can bring me in and pay me.
And if you don't want to call it a residual, give me a licensing fee. That is
give me
a flat rate.
Give me a flat rate licensing fee. Yeah.
Just like any other licensing, it's that every couple of years you give me a chunk.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can at least I walk in knowing exactly what's going to happen. Kind of like when you sell your music to the library that puts them in commercials. Okay, I know that I sold it to you. I'm going to get this chunk, and if the commercial does even better, then I'll get even more.
Or if you're in a commercial free, if you're in that commercial free, royalty free area,
you get a set amount every so often.
Yeah, like no copyright sounds. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like you get a little something because you're doing it for the art.
Yeah.
I hate to do this, guys, but I love you all. But I got to get on, and I will be back for the next episode. And I'd like to thank your entire audience for always being so kind and being so well receiving. And I'd like to congratulate you once again for getting your report out next week.
Thanks,
That's a huge scenario that you're in remission. That's super dope. I want to encourage you, brother, to keep on with the voiceover stuff. You don't got to come to California. I got a lot of people that's in South Carolina and Atlanta doing this. And you, Smalls, you are one of the best daddies ever.
Hey, Kindchen, before you go.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What's it going to... I know they're meeting on Friday. What's it going to take to make it work? Did we miss anything?
Well, they met on Friday. They met on the past Friday, and they came out talking crap like, oh, those guys don't want to talk to us. So I don't know what it is. I think that, like I said before, October is when it's really going to become a time to talk because everything's going to run out. All the extra plays, all the extra reality, all the stuff you had, caged up, it's going to run out. Yep. It's going to run out. And now you're going to need something that has to be programmed. And a lot of the write-offs, before we leave, the one thing that I'll leave with you guys, I never knew that there was a clause within an actor or writer's holding deal that after 90 days, you can just write it off the books. You can just get rid of it. So if we have a brand show holding deal at Netflix, after 90 days, they can just throw it off. They don't have to talk to you. There's no more talk with the lawyers. There's no more money coming. They can just take it off the table, and now you're left without anything. And that goes for writers and actor holding deals. I learned something new, and that was mind blowing. I was like, oh well, shoot, we're at day 100. How many writers had deals and just got wiped off the slate?
A lot.
You know, and for people that don't understand, a writing deal, that you always hear the exclusivity deal, they're writing for ABC, they're writing for Disney. A lot of those deals have been written off the table, and people were able to recoup that in tax dollars and tax credits.
Well, that's
all
good.
Right. Bless you guys. Be well.
Kindchen, we'll see you.
Thank you so much.
Soon. All right. Bye.
Let him
Thank you guys. Bye.
All right, let's finish this conversation up, gentlemen. I think we've come to a fair point. Chat, I'm going to throw it to you. I want to hear from you guys now. What do you think will help Hollywood to settle this entire nonsense and bullshit of old rich white men who are completely tone deaf to the needs of others and only care about themselves? Smalls, myself, Stevie, and Kindchen, before he disconnected, gave our points. Let's hear from you guys and let's wrap this up, because I think this has been an amazing conversation and I'm glad we got to it. I also think this San Diego Comic-Con hangover went way better than last year's, may I add. John Brown starting us out. Better public support. Definitely agreed. I think the public needs to be more in touch with this and needs to see it more, needs to have a better understanding. I think the cosplay community has been leading that forum, along with a lot of other folks like ourselves who are rescheduling episodes and canceling and so forth like that, and trying to show solidarity with our brothers and sisters who are striking currently. That is an excellent point.
Huge shout out to the cosplay community for
massive.
For
not the biggest fan of the feast or famine that is, I think I'm famous because I pretend to be somebody community.
Dang.
But okay, so Joe coming in, pay cuts for top brass. More compensation, more creative control, obviously, all points made, but also just reiterating what we said, still a very solid, very, very accurate, very on-the-nose point. To go to into the public support part, where's the 24-hour news cycle on this? You're right. Lenhard coming in with that, too. Absolutely fucking right. It's not really being covered. It's just deadspin about a baby who drowned in somebody's pool and Donald Trump and who he called what today, and that's what people want. They want shock television, and that's the problem. This doesn't matter to people because they think actors get paid too much. That's a mentality that needs to change throughout. You look at small businesses and people think small businesses make too much money. That's bullshit. I as someone who works in the toy industry a lot, I know exactly what people are paying, and that's why. Rosa, you still in the chat? This is gonna be a good point right here. If Rose is still in the chat, I want to make a point because Rosa sells toys. She owns I Sell Toys for Fun. So Rosa, she's there. Rosa, let's talk about this for a second. So you're selling a Marvel Legends figure. You sell it for what, $35 plus shipping? Am I correct? I'm just gonna hold this here and wait for her response. But I'm about to make a point, and I'm gonna go full circle with this. Okay. Top brass needs to understand that they are people. These are humans. The fact is that, yep, Steve, I agree with you there. So, Rosa, I know what your profit margin on this figure is. Your profit margin is $17 because you pay about $17 from Hasbro or Entertainment Earth, depending on where you are purchasing from, who your distributors are. But what people have to remember too is they have to factor in shipping and the simple fact that you have to pay for a case. So when you pay for a case, that's $6 per case, if I'm not mistaken. Depending on the line, it could be 12 to 16. So let's just call it the end. We'll call it 12 total. That's $204 a case. So $204, and you're making $408 total on a case. I'm going to commercial break now. Great. Terrible timing. Anyway, so what I'm getting at about what Rosa does and why I'm getting to this is because Rosa's profit margin per figure is about $17 minus ship. Margins are slim. Exactly. Margins are totally slim. So when you're a small business, what does Target sell a figure for, Stevie? 25?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, but then the problem that you deal with a company like Target is that you're going to go to Target and you're not going to find it. That beast figure I opened earlier on the episode, it took me 6 months to find it, okay? And I willingly paid Rosa $50 for that figure. Shipping, figure was $40, shipping was about $10. Didn't care. I know that's a $29 figure, still didn't care because I know how paper thin, and I speak to you directly on this one, paper thin those margins are, okay? So the mentality that we're seeing here, the mentality goes back to that of actors. Everybody thinks every actor is a millionaire, right? Common misconception, okay? Everybody thinks every small business is turning a profit. You have to understand that first and foremost, you're putting out that money, and if you're sitting on product, if product is sitting there, you're wasting money because you just went
on your own feet and losing money.
Yeah, exactly. You went to Entertainment Earth and you bought 3 cases of a figure that didn't sell because you thought it was going to be popular. So you're sitting on it, and then you need to clearance it, and when you get down to that $20 that $20 price point, you're making $3 a figure because you're not Target. Target, I guarantee you, is paying $12 to $13 per Marvel Legend figure, and then Hasbro is paying $2 to $3 for the product through China. Okay, plus shipping, so they're still at $7 to $8 a figure. So the fact of the matter is when you get to that small guy, and you have to look at the yeah, and because they don't buy quantity, they don't get the price breaks of a larger company. Exactly. She's 100% right. But what this is getting back to is you have to think about those smaller actors. You have to think about the Arif S. Kindchens of the world who aren't, the lead actor on a major show. Okay, people seem to forget those people just like they forget small business on a day-to-day basis. Small business, just like an actor, has to deal with roadblocks that put things in their way. Ron Perlman's not hurting right now. We know that. Jim Cummings, he ain't hurting right now. Dude's net worth is $10 million, but your I Sell Toys for Funds, your Arif S. Kindchens, they're hurting because they're not getting the same treatment that somebody with a larger resume and a larger network would get, like a Target would get or a Ron Perlman would get. So what my point is that when I tell you, hey, support small businesses, hey, understand that these people are not getting what they truly deserve, that 1% to 2% margin would make a huge difference. This all boils back, and you have to understand that this is a very minuscule thing. So that's why a lot of these folks do conventions, because that's how they make their extra money, because they're able to go there and they're able to take a $25 figure and charge $45 for it because, Johnny didn't find it in Target and Johnny really wanted it, and it's sitting right in front of Dad. Dad doesn't have to keep wasting gas. Dad doesn't have to worry about all this stuff. And you got to factor that into the consumer. Consumers running to smalls. Let's use records, for example. What is the most expensive record you own?
What I paid or what it retails for?
What it retails for, and then what you paid for it.
I would say realistically,
pick one out of the bunch.
The first one that comes to my mind is the album Introducing by DJ Shadow.
Cool. Okay. How much is that record worth?
Right now it's worth probably $200.
What'd you pay for it?
$50.
Okay. So here's a thought. Okay, you go to San Diego Record Con. You've been looking for that DJ Shadow record. You've easily put 1,000 miles on your car looking for it. Okay, which translates to gas. It's 4 tanks of gas at $60 to $80 a tank, plus time, plus effort, plus the record itself. And you walk into San Diego Record Con and you see I Sell Records for Fun has that record. Are you going to buy it from I Sell Records for Fun and pay the upcharge so you don't have to keep wasting time? Abso-freaking-lutely you are. Because it's important to you and you want it. Stevie Oaks, you're a Funko Pop collector. So this is really going to resonate with you. Go ahead.
So, for instance, okay, Lauren Mary Kim, okay?
Bring it in, baby.
The reason why I believe this to be true, okay, she's a actress, excuse me. She did all the stunt work for Ahsoka in the Bad Batch series. Bad Batch?
Yep, Bad Batch.
And Bad Batch. And she does so many other stunts for other Star Wars properties and other things. So, and the reason why I know this to be true is because several actors and actresses have done this, where they will sell me their pop at cost and sign it for free. Their cost on a Funko Pop is $30.
Do you know what my cost for a Funko Pop is if I buy through Entertainment Earth for next comic strip?
What?
$9.75 per pop.
So why is it that these celebrities are getting them for 30.
Because when you buy a case, you have to, when you work with Entertainment Earth, you have to show at least one invoice of $10,000 or higher. It's a really backward system. So what I'm getting at here is you have to look, and Joe said it again, another great point by Joe, mom and pop shops built this nation, and he's correct. And I shop small as much as possible. I have tried to stop buying from Target, and, you know, I mean, look, that Scarlet Spider figure we did an unboxing for a few weeks ago, I paid $20 more than that figure's worth. Did I give a shit? No, I didn't. And the reason I didn't give a shit is because I know that money was going to a mom and pop shop, and I know that money was going so someone's kid could go get. And it was, I sell toys for fun. I know it was putting food on someone's table. I know what the actual cost for that is, and what the markup is and everything. And I didn't care. I make purchase decisions based on the fact that I know where my money is going. And again, this all comes full circle, chat, and I hope you guys are seeing what I'm saying. I really, really fucking hope you see what I'm saying. You have to understand that not everything is the way we see it. And that's what I'm getting at. And this is the problem with fucking old, rich, white assholes. They have no idea what goes on in everyday society. They have no idea the struggles that we have. They have no idea that I have negative $8 in my account and that I couldn't pay my Hulu on Monday. They don't know that my car payment is 3 or 4 days behind, and they don't care. You have to understand something. I am a broke son of a bitch. I will never lie to you and pretend to flex. I don't. That's not who I am. The shirt cost me $10 at Kohl's. Don't really care. I cut my own hair. The fact of the matter is that like these actors, and yes, if we want it and support it, things cost. There are many factors. You're right. You can trade. You can do pay-in-fors. You can do a lot of things. Fact of the matter, though, is whether it's records, it's voice acting, it's writing, it's Funko Pops, no matter what it is, there's a value proposition attached to it, and Hollywood's not seeing that value proposition right now. That's the problem. That is the absolute problem here. And I think everybody has made points tonight that really attach value to those human beings that deserve to be paid right. Small businesses deserve to be paid better and get better value propositions, less taxation, etc. You know, the independent contractor who's doing a record, or the photographer who's shooting a show, deserves to be paid correctly for the talents they have and the effort that they've put into things. The voice actor, the content creator who makes TikToks that everybody enjoys deserves a bigger cut than what they're getting from the creator fund. My point is there's a lot of problems here, and there's a lot of things that can be fixed in the universe of content and business in general, and we as a society need to see it. Go ahead, my friend Steve.
For everybody out there that thinks that I make a shit ton of money off
I know you don't.
TikTok.
You and I neither.
$1,700 in 3 years off of TikTok. Just TikTok alone.
Steve, what do you do during the day?
I sell newspaper ads.
Exactly. You are a normal human being, and that's what the point I'm trying to get across. Smalls, you are a very well accredited photographer. You are one of the best at what you do. What do you do during the day?
I work at Best Buy.
Exactly. My point is not everything is what it seems. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. I want you to chat amongst yourselves and talk about this. Go home, have this conversation with your friends, have this conversation with your family, and really discuss it and think about the people that I've talked about tonight. Support those people. If you want to give to the Writers Guild, there are donation links. I unfortunately don't have them. I apologize. Check my social media. I'll have them up in the next couple of days. Again, if you guys are looking for a fig, it would be a great pleasure if you reached out to the guys from I Sell Toys for Fun and reached out to Rosa. Rosa, drop your links in the chat so they know where to find you, please. But the fact of the matter is that we need to look at the 99%, not the 1%.
Yep.
And that is the end goal here. And I think the end game of this whole thing, and I really hope we don't get to October. I hope this ends soon. But that's our show for tonight, guys. We went way over as usual. Yeah. And this discussion was fantastic. I think this might be one of the best episodes we've had. Plain and simple. What do you think, Smalls?
I would be more enthusiastic if it wasn't almost 11:30.
Yes. Stevie,
yeah, I still got cameos got to take before bedtime.
Yeah, man. I still got some. Oh shoot! It didn't. Oh crap! It's not letting her post her links.
Oh crap!
Hold on. I'm gonna post Rose's link for her because it just blocked in the chat.
while he's doing that, also, guys, when you go into a convention, yeah, it's cool to see the celebrities, and please go ahead and go see them. For the love of Pete, go ahead and see them. Go to the artists, buy their work, please, because they put out amazing work for pennies on the dollar. It's
yeah, support your local artists, please. Support your local artists, support your local voice actors, support your stunt people, support your local businesses. Support the brand show. We're independent creators too. We make shit money, clearly. But you know what? We don't want to do this to get rich. We want to do this because we want to provide you guys the coolest fucking show on the face of the planet.
I want to be rich. Let's be honest about this. No.
I gave you a badum tiss on the way out there for that one. All right, guys. Anyway, my name is Billy. I am the brand, the Generalissimo of the brand show, the Larry Bird of action figure collecting, and your Generalissimo.
My name is Chris, the best out on the internet because I left from looking at cigarettes, and I came back, and I now have ramen hair.
And who's that guy below us?
Yeah, I'm Stevie Oaks, Rhode Island Zone Peter Griffin, and you can find me on all the socials at Rhode Island Zone Peter Griffin.
Guys, we will see you again on I believe the 25th of the month. Let me double check the calendar here. No, the 23rd of the month. The 23rd of the month, and I'm going to give you our next guest right now. This is a big one, so let me get something here for this.
I need photos. Photos of
Stevie Oaks
Spider-Man.
again.
Yeah, Stevie Oaks is always on the show. But guys, we will see you on August 23rd. Our guest will be the record-setting artist of Spider-Man #1 covers in the legendary Joe St. Pierre, the creator of Zodiacs. Really good dude. He's going to bring his special brand of content and comic creation to the channel, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But for now, thank you for watching. If you didn't watch this whole episode, I hope you're catching this on YouTube. And if you're watching, I love you. Thanks for tuning in. This is The Brand Show. My name's Billy. That's Smalls, and that's Stevie Oaks below me. We'll see you next time. Be well, support small business, and fuck you, Bob Iger. You can suck my fucking dick. We'll see you next time.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive?